Chapter 1. Break up with girlfriends. Journey to become a true god. My name is Yechen. This year I am 17 years old. Since I was a child, I have lived together with my grandfather in a remote village. My life is the same as boys in general, but my life began to change when my grandfather died. Because no one wants to take care of me, I started to live independently and started to work. I started working so I could continue to live. Because of my good grades, I got a scholarship to go to school in the city to get a more decent education. I currently study at Hexing School. After 3 months I studied there, I finally have a girlfriend. My girlfriend's name is Yuting. She has shoulder-length hair, about 155 centimeters tall, and has a slim body, with a cute face. Though not the most beautiful woman in school, but Yuting can still be considered the ideal woman for most men. We dated for 9 months. After we entered the second year and were placed in a different class, Yuting's attitude towards me began to change 180 degrees. This is my story. Today is Sunday. Yechen's school and workplace is on vacation. Yesterday Yechen is paying. Today he intends to invite Yuting to go to Starbucks for lunch. The salary from Yechen's part-time job was not too high. Every month Yechen had to eat ordinary food and sometimes eat leftovers at his part-time job, so that he could take Yuting to go to Starbucks at the end of the month. But today all the calls and messages sent by Yechen were ignored by Yuting. This was what made Yechen upset. Where's Tingting going? Why does Tingting not want to answer calls from me? Indeed, in recent days Yuting often ignores calls from Yechen. Yechen looked at the clock on the cell phone that didn't look suitable for use. The digital clock was already showing at 12 noon. Yechen decided to go to look for food and drinks. After leaving his rented house, Yechen went to a shopping center. Yechen headed to a simple-looking food stall. Yechen ordered food and drinks. "Uncle, please 1 fried noodles and 1 soda drink." After ordering food, Yechen looked for a seat to wait for the food he ordered delivered. Yechen saw the scene on the busy street. Rom. A loud sound is the sound of a luxury car engine, a BWM Sport with a price of hundreds of thousands of dollars through Yechen's view. Some people who are eating also pay attention to the arrival of this BMW car. The BMW pulled over to the side of the road. When the door of the car opened, the figure of the woman Yechen knew came out of the car. It was Yuting, his girlfriend. A young man also got out of the BMW car, this handsome man with fashionable clothes and a cool hairstyle. Yuting put her arm around the man's arm, and acted like lovers. Fools know what kind of relationship they have at the moment. Seeing this, fire in Yechen's heart appeared. Yechen rose from his seat and approached Yuting and the strange man. Ting Ting. When someone shouted her name, Yuting turned around. Seeing that the person who was shouting her name was Yechen, Yuting panicked a little. Yuting immediately let go of her hand from the arm of a rich man. "Yechen, how can you be here?" Yuting spoke with a little nervous. "Shouldn't I ask like that? Who is this guy and why are you together with him?" Even though Yechen knew of Yuting's relationship with this man, but Yechen still hoped that his guess was wrong. Me, he is." Yuting looks nervous when want to answer the question from Yechen. Yuting does not know what to answer at this time. Ting, who is he? The man next to asks Yuting. He Yuting was a little hesitant to answer the rich man beside her. "This person is my ex-boyfriend." Yuting had rounded her determination to follow this rich man and throw away Yechen, who sincerely loved her. When Yuting's words came out, the fire in Yechen's heart really exploded. Yechen was very angry at the words Yuting had just said to him. "Oh, so this is the poor man you often tell me." The man beside Yuting looked at Yechen with an insulting look. Yechen raised his hand and wanted to strike Yuting. Seeing what Yechen would do, Yuting was afraid and closed her eyes. Yechen really wanted to hit Yuting, but somehow he couldn't bear to do it. "Yuting, why are you doing this to me? Say the reason you prefer him over me," Yechen asked. "You really want to know the reason? Let me say, I'm tired of living poor with you. You can't buy me expensive clothes, jewelry, and even expensive cell phones, but while pointing at the man next to her, he can give what you can't give it to me. But Ting, I have love for you. Is that not enough for you?" Ye Chen said. Nonsense, can love be eaten? Can love buy me what I want? Yu Ting insulted Ye Chen with her words. All the words Yu Ting stabbed Ye Chen into the deepest part of the heart. Indeed, Ye Chen was poor, but Ye Chen always worked hard so that one day his life could change for the better. Good, I will remember your words. I am Ye Chen is blind because I love a girl like you. From today our relationship ends, and never look for me again. Without waiting for an answer from Yu Ting, Ye Chen immediately left Yu Ting and her affair. Seeing Ye Chen's figure disappear, there was a slight sense of loss in Yu Ting's heart, but it was only for an instant. Yu Ting immediately put her hand back on the arm of this rich man and walked towards the shopping center. After leaving the department store, Ye Chen went under an old bridge on the outskirts of downtown. This place was Ye Chen's favorite place. Ye Chen often went here when his mood was sad or having a lot of trouble. Listening to the sound of the flowing river water made Ye Chen feel calm. Ye Chen began to ponder what happened today. His first love story had to fail. In this way, the woman Ye Chen loved turned out to prefer money over him. Ye Chen closed his eyes and fell asleep. When Ye Chen woke up the sky, it was afternoon. Ye Chen began to accept what was happening today. Ye Chen decided to forget the memories with Yu Ting forever. Ye Chen reached into his shirt. Ye Chen pulled out a necklace like jade with complicated patterns and a red color like blood. This is a legacy from his grandfather, said his grandfather is a family heirloom that has been passed down from generation to generation. Ye Chen still didn't know the usefulness of this necklace and what secrets it contained. Ye Chen put the necklace into his shirt again. Ye Chen hadn't visited Grandpa's grave for a long time. Ye Chen wanted to go home to his hometown. Other than to visit his grandfather's grave, Ye Chen wanted to relax the mind there. Fortunately, the distance to the bus station wasn't too far. In just 5 minutes Ye Chen made it there. Kruyuyake. Ye Chen's bowels thundered. I forgot I haven't eaten anything from this morning. Ye Chen rubbed his starving little stomach. Ye Chen went to buy some steamed buns and mineral water to accompany the trip. Ye Chen sent a message to the homeroom teacher to ask for school leave for the next few days. Ye Chen managed to arrive on time. The bus would leave immediately. There are already many people on the bus. The bus will also pass through several other places and villages. Because of the little boring trip, Ye Chen played the old school game on his cell phone. Not feel the journey is almost at the final destination, that is Ye Chen village. At this time the only remaining passengers are only Ye Chen. In a few kilometers the bus will reach Ye Chen village, but suddenly the bus is a little out of control. The bus driver is forced to pull aside his vehicle. What's wrong, uncle? Ye Chen immediately asked. I do not know, let me check what happened to this bus. The driver immediately went down and then checked what was wrong with his bus. How? Ye Chen asked. Sorry, young man, the tires are flat and I can't continue the journey. I can only wait for someone to fix them tomorrow morning. The bus driver immediately apologized to Ye Chen with regret. You can sleep on the bus tonight if you want. The bus driver's uncle offered Ye Chen to sleep on the bus until tomorrow morning. It's okay, my uncle can walk. A few more kilometers is the village where I live. Ye Chen paid the fare of the trip and dropped off the bus. Ye Chen walked towards the village where Ye Chen lived. The road conditions were quite dark considering it was midnight. The lighting here was very minimal, very different from the city that Ye Chen lived in for 1 year. Luckily, Ye Chen didn't carry a bag, so Ye Chen could run without fear of exhaustion. Ye Chen ran for a few minutes. Suddenly the sky appeared. The figure of the old man was floating. The old man was wearing white clothes. All the white hair that the old man was wearing was all white. Ye Chen was a modern person and did not believe in ghosts, but seeing an old man floating above the sky naturally made Ye Chen afraid. The figure in the sky suddenly approached towards Ye Chen. Ye Chen, who saw this, was very scared and ran as hard as he could. Chapter 2, Master. Journey to become a true god. Ye Chen running down the grass. Motherfucker. Why today I was so unlucky. First I broke up with my girlfriend and now I'm being chased by the ghost of the old grandfather. Ye Chen kept cursing in his heart. After running for a few minutes, Ye Chen's running speed decreased. Ye Chen then looked back knowing that the ghost disappeared. Finally Ye Chen could relax. Ye Chen rested near the tree with his breath rising and falling because he was tired of running. "Hey kid, why are you running away from me?" heard a voice beside her. All the hairs on Ye Chen's body stood up. Ye Chen turned to the side and saw the old man's ghost flying in the sky, standing beside Ye Chen. "Grandfather of the ghost, ghost ancestor, please don't eat me, my flesh tastes bitter." Ye Chen once saw in the films that ghosts like to eat people. Because that is, Ye Chen was afraid to be eaten by this ghost. "Ha ha 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 ha, young man, I'm not a ghost, I'm also a human like you," the ghost of an old man laughed, stroking his long beard. "You're lying. How could humans be able to fly? Do all ghosts like you like to cheat?" Ye Chen could not believe that there were humans who could fly like this. "Grandfather, if this old man was a Superman, it was impossible for sure." "Grandfather, this was a ghost and wanted to eat Ye Chen." "Mysterious grandfather, it is true that I am a human just like you, but I am also a practitioner in the Deva realm. Coincidentally, when I passed this planet I found something interesting." "What place of God nature is that? Aren't you from this planet?" Ye Chen asked this mysterious grandfather. "Of course I am not from your world. Space is very wide, there are many people who live out there, and there is a place called the Realm of Gods. There is a gathering of the strongest people in the entire universe." Grandfather explained everything to Ye Chen. Really, Ye Chen did not believe that there were other humans outside the Earth, because even scientists could not find any signs of life outside this Earth. "Mysterious grandfather, of course, what's in it if I lie to you?" "Ye Chen, then why did you chase me just now?" "I need to confirm something from your body." After saying that, mysterious grandfather immediately grabbed Ye Chen's right wrist. Seeing what this mysterious grandfather did, Ye Chen was afraid and tried to get away from this mysterious grandfather, but however much Ye Chen tried it, Ye Chen could not escape from this mysterious grandfather. "Good, I did not expect to meet a treasure on this remote planet." Mysterious grandfather laughed, then let go of his hand from Ye Chen's wrist. Seeing that the mysterious grandfather laughed happily, Ye Chen was rather confused. What was going on? Why did this mysterious grandfather say that he had just found a treasure? "Mysterious grandfather, son, you have the ancient body. The owner of this body is very rare. The owner of the body, the primordial, is very difficult to find and does not even appear for 100 million years. And this body is very good for cultivation. How are you interested in trying to become a cultivator?" asked the mysterious grandfather. "Not interested," Ye Chen answered firmly. Hearing Ye Chen's answer was stunned. "Why?" "Because being a practitioner definitely has to sit and close my eyes for weeks or even years. Life like that is very boring. If there is nothing else, then I will go first." Senior Ye Chen imagined that cultivators were the same as Shaolin monk who was always meditating every day even though they were strong. Such a life would be very boring for Ye Chen. After paying homage to the mysterious grandfather, Ye Chen immediately went towards the direction of his village. While the mysterious grandfather was left astonished after hearing Ye Chen's answer just now, mysterious grandfather thought that Ye Chen's brain was damaged. There were many people out there who sacrificed wealth and were even willing to be servants of a cultivator to be able to enter the world of cultivation. If people who were willing to become servants of the cultivators listened to what Ye Chen had said just now, they would definitely hit Ye Chen's head because of his stupidity. Mysterious grandfather still hasn't given up and immediately catch up with Ye Chen. "Son, are you sure about this?" the mysterious grandfather asked once more. "Of course I am sure. I do not like the life of the one who only meditated for many years." Again Ye Chen answered firmly without any hesitation. Seeing Ye Chen, who was still stubborn, mysterious grandfather immediately told the danger of the owner of the ancient Yang body, if it was not treated properly. "Son, I forgot to tell you that if the owner of the body, Yang, is ancient, if it is not treated properly, then you will die soon." Heard the words of the mysterious grandfather, Ye Chen immediately turned. "What do you mean?" Ye Chen could not even feel a better life, but the mysterious grandfather said that he would sooner or later die at a young age. If someone has an excess of yang qi in his body, then that person will not be able to control himself. and in the worst case then that person will explode. Mysterious grandfather immediately explained to Ye Chen. What? After hearing Ye Chen very scared. Then how to prevent it? Ye Chen immediately asked how to prevent this. Mysterious grandfather, he, in this world nothing is free, if you want to admit me as a teacher I will tell you how. Ye Chen is very confused why this mysterious grandfather really wanted himself to be his student. What exactly do you want from me? How can I release a good seed like you, with an ancient, yang, body that you have? You can certainly climb a tap that I cannot reach in this life. Mysterious grandfather, I have lived more than 300,000 years and my time is not much anymore, so I want to find a student to inherit all the knowledge and techniques that I have. Hearing this mysterious grandfather mentioning his age of nearly 300,000 years, Ye Chen could hardly believe what he had just heard. Ahem, what are you waiting for? You do not want to worship your teacher? Mysterious grandfather deliberately coughing. Ye Chen mysterious grandfather and Ye Chen slightly posted students greet the teacher. Ha 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 ha, good start. Now you are my first student. The heart of the mysterious grandfather was quite happy as he seems. Master, then how do I cure Yankee's strengths in my body? Ye Chen immediately asked how to cure Yankee's strengths in his body. Mysterious grandfather, what else is of course doing the sacred thing between men and women to cultivate yin and yang in the body. Cultivators call it dual cultivation. Is it just like that? Isn't that easy to do? Ye Chen's chest heaved up in anger. Ye Chen thought that to cure needed rare materials/methods that were very difficult. But it turned out that just needing to get in touch with the woman could cure him. Isn't all that Ye Chen needs to do is find a woman and this matter will be solved very easily? Son, although relationships between men and women are easy to do you have the techniques to manage yin and yang themselves? Mysterious grandfather immediately asked whether Ye Chen had the technique to manage yin and yang. Me. Ye Chen looked down and began to think. Ye Chen did not have such techniques or methods. Mysterious grandfather, ha ha ha, finally you realize that without me you will die because of the excess yang qi. Then master, quickly give me that technique. Ye Chen immediately asked for the dual cultivation technique from the mysterious grandfather. Don't be greedy, let's leave this place first. After that, a power enveloped Ye Chen. Ye Chen flew with the old man towards the night sky and left Earth. Chapter 3, Select Cultivation Techniques. Journey to become a true god. Ye Chen knew that his master could fly, but he did not think that his master took him away from the Earth's atmosphere. A black hole appeared in front of Ye Chen. Right now Ye Chen doesn't know where his master will take him, and Ye Chen also doesn't know the name of his master yet. Can you say your name? Mysterious grandfather. Oh yeah, I almost forgot because I was too excited. My name is Gu Xian. Then what's your name? The student's name is Ye Chen. Ye Chen told Gu Xian his name. Ye Chen looked around. As far as the eye could see, there was only darkness and some lightning began to strike towards him and his master. Fortunately the master made a blue protective shield around the two of them and protected from hundreds of thousands of lightning strikes. Because of curiosity Ye Chen asked teacher, where we now? We are now in the rus of dimensional space. The flow of this dimensional space shortens the time we go at Adder Star. There are two ways to activate it. First, one must reach a certain stage or use a special item. Gu Xian, if someone who has a low cultivation level opens it without special items, then they will be struck by this lightning strike. Even though Ye Chen still didn't understand Gu Xian's explanation, Ye Chen only nodded as if he understood what Gu Xian said. Half an hour later the two of them came out of the current dimensional space. Ye Chen saw a green planet in front of his eyes. Gu Xian brought Ye Chen towards the green planet. When Ye Chen reached the planet, as far as the eye could see Ye Chen only saw trees. The air in this place was very clean and fresh. This is our training ground for the future. I will install some arrays so that the magic beasts cannot enter here. Gu Xian flew and disappeared from Ye Chen's view. While waiting for his parents to return, Ye Chen looked for shelter. Under this tree, Ye Chen sat down and waited for Gu Xian to return. Ye Chen was very bored waiting for Gu Xian to return. Now almost 2 hours more. Mr. Xian left and until now has not returned. Ye Chen was worried that Gu Xian would leave himself on this planet alone. After seeing Gu Xian descending from the sky, Ye Chen's anxiety subsided. Ye Chen immediately approached Gu Xian and shouted Master, when Ye Chen would approach him as if he was being held back by an invisible force. It turned out that Gu Xian intentionally didn't erupt Ye Chen approaching, because he intended to activate the formation of an array. Suddenly, Gu Xian's body issued a blue light that rose into the sky. Above the distant sky also appeared 4 pillars of blue light that were the same American Samoa Gu Xian. The 4 lights immediately went to Gu Xian's light direction. Bam! Bam! Several explosions were heard above the sky. After the explosion of blue light formed a giant dome from the top of the sky and descended to the ground. It is estimated that the dome's area is hundreds of miles away. Gu Xian now Chen now all energy chi within a 200-mile radius from here will gather at our current place. Ye Chen was still confused because he did not yet know what energy chi was. Seeing Ye Chen was confused, Gu Xian finally remembered that he had not taught the basis for cultivation to Ye Chen. Therefore Ye Chen did not yet know the usefulness of energy chi when cultivating. Ahem, forget it. First of all you must choose the cultivation technique that suits you. Gu Xian waved and an ancient building appeared before Ye Chen's eyes. This building had 3 floors. Ye Chen was getting used to seeing strange events like this. Come on in. Gu Xian then went to the front door of the building. Ye Chen followed behind Gu Xian. After the door to the building was opened, Ye Chen saw that there were countless books and scrolls neatly arranged on a shelf. Now, son, this is a low-class technique for starting the path to become a cultivator. Choose your own. Master, what, there is no top-class technique that you can give me? Ye Chen asked because it was a little dissatisfied with this low-ranking technique. Ha ha ha, you think this is too easy, because you are just starting to step into the world of cultivation, then you have to start from the easiest, first, to understand a cultivation technique. Someone takes a long time, especially the higher the level, the more difficult it is to understand. Gu Xian tried to explain to Ye Chen. Listening to that, Ye Chen was stunned. Ye Chen did not think that to learn a cultivation technique would be quite difficult and requires quite a long time. Now Chen, choose a technique that you think is good and suitable for you to learn. Hear it. Ye Chen immediately began to look at the books one by one on the shelves, but after seeing a lot it turned out Ye Chen still had not found a technique that interested him. Until Ye Chen saw a very thick book. This book was on the chain. Out of curiosity, Ye Chen asked this book teacher, why is there a chain? Gu Xian saw where Ye Chen's finger was pointing. Gu Xian saw an old book with a chain around it. Gu Xian, oh, it's a technique that I got by chance. In the past, because no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't break the seal of this book, because I didn't know what that technique was and its level. So I just put it on this first floor. For some reason this book exuded familiar feelings for Ye Chen. It was like a magnet trying to pull Ye Chen closer. Ye Chen finally walked towards the book and tried to pick it up. When Ye Chen's finger touched the book on the chain, suddenly Ye Chen felt something hot in his chest. When Ye Chen looked up, he saw the necklace his grandfather had given him now shining. The chain surrounding the book also began to move. Crack! Crack! The sound of chains opening, the book floated and the book quickly opened one page at a time. Gu Xian, who saw this happened, was quite surprised. After the book stopped opening the page, a white light came out and pushed Gu Xian out of the room. It is important to know that Gu Xian's level of strength is almost the same as the king of the realm of a high-ranking star. To be able to kick him, it is very easy to prove that the light has a very strong power. Gu Xian, seeing the door to the building closed, a barrier appeared and covered the entire building. Chapter 4, Inheritance from the God of Sage. Journey to become a true god. Seeing Gu Xian easily being driven out of this room proved how powerful the things in this book were. A white light enveloped the entire building. A male figure appeared in front of Ye Chen. The figure looked at Ye Chen's body from top to bottom. Ancient, yang, body. Not bad either. The floating figure gave a little praise to Ye Chen. I am the Sage God, one of the 5 most powerful true gods in the past. I intentionally left the rest of my soul in this book so that one day someone can inherit the power that I have, and today you have activated this legacy I left behind, so you have the right to inherit the power I have. The man who pollinated himself as a sage god said that Yachen could inherit his own power. If other people heard the name of the sage god in the god realm, they would definitely be very happy. Moreover, knowing that they would get the inheritance from a sage god would surely jump for joy, but it didn't seem to apply to Yachen. Senior, maybe you are mistaken, I just touched the book and didn't do anything else. This person can kick Guxian with ease. That proves that this person's strength is strong enough. If he wants to harm or kill Yachen, that's enough easy to do. Seeing Yachen looking uneasy, the sage god finally spoke. Calm down, I will not harm you. I will explain that you understand. To activate my inheritance, in addition to having this book, you must also have a special key. The key to activate my inheritance is in your neck. The sage god pointed to the necklace on Yachen's neck. Yachen finally realized that the necklace on his neck glowed red. Because of curiosity, Yachen asked, what ancestor actually is this necklace? Lord Sage, this is a fire crystal, which is one of the 8 element crystals. 8 elements, namely fire, water, wind, earth, lightning, light, darkness, dimension. These 8 crystals are scattered throughout the world of nature, one of which you have. I do not have a long time to answer all your questions, so prepare yourself to receive my inheritance. From the tip of Sage's finger, a drop of blood appeared. This is a drop of blood from me that has been purified for millions of years, to get blood that cannot be destroyed by anyone. After this blood enters your body, all your veins and meridians will be replaced with the same meridians that I have. During the process, maybe it will hurt a little. Then the sage god pushed the blood to Yachen's chest. The blood entered through his skin and began to fuse with the blood in Yachen's body. When the blood entered his body, Yachen felt something eating his veins. An intense pain finally engulfed Yachen's whole body. Yachen felt like being stabbed and chopped by thousands of swords that were not visible to the eye. Yachen screamed in pain. Guxian outside is currently trying to destroy the barrier that envelopes the building. Guxian uses up to 80% power to try to destroy this barrier, but unfortunately the barrier still doesn't budge at all with Guxian's attack. Guxian did not know what was going on with Yachen in there. If something happened to Yachen, then Guxian would definitely be very sad, because it would be very difficult to find a student who had a special body like Yachen had in this world. Arg! A cry of pain was heard from inside the building. The thing Guxian was afraid of finally happened. In there, Yachen must have experienced something. Guxian was forced to use his ultimate technique. The whole place shook violently as if the planet was about to collapse. A very strong energy gathered in Guxian's body. Guxian directed the powerful deep energy towards the barrier. Boom! A loud explosion that could be heard almost hundreds of thousands of miles away. Dust was falling everywhere to cover 200 miles away. When the dust disappeared, the barrier was still standing strong. There was not even a trace of blisters. Seeing this, Guxian could only sigh helplessly. Guxian could only pray that nothing happened to Yachen. After 2 hours, the screaming finally stopped. Yachen's body and the blood of the sage gods successfully fused. Yachen felt his body become very light and a lot of strength flowed inside his body. Yachen's mind was also very clear now. Now that you have inherited my power, even though you still have not fully inherited my power, if you can find the other 7 crystals, then you will get my complete inheritance. 7 other elemental crystals. Senior, then where should I look for the other 7 crystals? Yachen asked. It depends on your luck, because the crystal is scattered throughout the whole world. It is possible that the crystal has changed hands to someone else now. Diwa Sage, also for cultivation techniques and others are all in this book. I hope you can complete the mission that I cannot complete in the past. Sage God, because you have accepted my inheritance, the responsibility that you will carry in the future will surely sting heavily. My task is now finished, my time to go. Sage God closed his eyes. The body of the sage god became more transparent and finally disappeared from the world. Wait, Senior, what do you mean by the mission? Explain to me first. Before Ye Chen finished his words, the rest of the soul sage gods had disappeared from this world. The book that originally floated in the air turned into a ray of light and entered Ye Chen's mind. Ye Chen received various information ranging from sage deities' cultivation methods and some heavenly level techniques that could only be used by sage deities. Ye Chen learned it one by one. For some reason, after Ye Chen had inherited the power of sage god, Ye Chen could easily learn everything with everything. From what Ye Chen had just learned, a cultivator had a total of 52 deep veins, but Ye Chen now had a total of 60 deep veins. Deep veins are the most important factor for every cultivator. The more one can open their deep vein door, the faster they absorb energy chi. Of course, the faster it can be in increasing cultivation bases. These 8 additional veins represent the 8 profound elements of the god sage, and of these 8 additional veins, one is open. Flame veins to open need fire crystals. Special ability can increase the strength of its users tens of times over for a few moments. If the cultivation level of the user is weak, then it will hurt itself. This book is just like a system. This book only displays information about fire veins and fire techniques for other veins. The information is still missing. Ye Chen's level of thinking had gone up, so he knew that if he wanted to open up other information and techniques, then Ye Chen would only have to find another sage god crystal. The technique, which is unrelated to the other 7 elements, is open. The most striking to Ye Chen is called the True God Body Technique, where there are 10 tiers. Each level will increase the strength of the user's body several times. This is a technique cultivated by God Sage. To make this technique nail level, the user must train his body very heavy. After finishing learning some pretty powerful techniques, Ye Chen immediately stood up and wanted to get out of this building. But it seemed like the barrier that enveloped the building still hadn't disappeared. When Ye Chen tried to think of a way to remove the barrier immediately vanished. Immediately the shadow figure rushed in and immediately stood in front of Ye Chen. Chapter 5, King's Heart Technique. Journey to Become a True God. Gu Xian immediately entered the house. He saw Ye Chen was still standing in the same place as before. Gu Xian looked at Ye Chen's body from top to bottom and did not find any wounds on Ye Chen's body. Gu Xian felt the strength of Ye Chen, who had entered the first level from the spirit formation realm. Out of curiosity how Ye Chen could increase the power from 0 to spirit formation realm, Gu Xian asked Ye Chen directly, "Chen, how can you increase your strength in such a short time?" Ye Chen explained all the processes from beginning to end to Gu Xian. Hearing this, Gu Xian was very happy. Ha ha ha, great! I was not wrong to choose you to be my student. Gu Xian continued to laugh because he was very happy. Come with me, I'll give you a brief explanation about cultivation. Gu Xian pulled Ye Chen's hand and flew out of the room. Chen, say, how much have you learned the basics to start cultivating? Gu Xian asked. Ye Chen told Gu Xian the little knowledge he had gotten from the legacy book of the sage god. Listening to everything Ye Chen Gu Xian had said, nodded. That was indeed the basis for becoming a cultivator. Since you already understood the way to cultivate, then I would only need to explain the level of cultivation power. The first level that exists in the mortal realm, martial realm, condensation realm, spirit formation realm, spirit profound realm, earth profound realm, sky profound realm, emperor realm, ancient warrior realm, overlord realm, and you are now in the spirit profound realm stage. Overlord realm is the peak stage in the mortal realm. After that you can reach the divine realm. The divine realm is also divided into several levels, starting from divine nascent realm, divine spirit realm, divine tribulation realm, divine rebirth realm, divine monarch realm, divine preceptor realm, divine overlord realm. The divine overlord realm is the pinnacle of the divine realm, and after that is the level called the true God. But the era of the gods has ended millions of years ago, and now nothing can reach the god level in the realm of this deity. And the sage god you inherited in your body is one of the 5 most powerful gods in the past who ruled over the gods. Gusua, that's why your future achievement will definitely have no limits. Ye Chen had memorized everything that Gu Xian explained easily. Then what teacher are you at now? Because of Gu Xian's curiosity, Ye Chen asked. Right now I am in the 6th level Divine Overlord realm, Gu Xian said proudly. Wow, mastering really is very strong. Then how long does it take? About the time I need until my strength can be like mastering. Gu Xian's level was higher than Ye Chen could imagine. Gu Xian, ha ha ha, maybe a few thousand or tens of thousands of years depending on talent and also the resources you can have. It took too long, Ye Chen protested loudly. Well, now I will explain about the body especially. The body, ancient Yang, is a body that is quite special, even hundreds of times stronger than the owner of the body, pure Yang, a man the stronger, Yang, they are the faster they can also cultivate. Well, but if the amount is too much then it can harm his own body, so to balance it requires yin from women. Ye Chen listened very seriously. Then how is the way to overcome the strengths, Yang, master? There are a number of ways. One can first absorb through the air, for this way you should be as close as possible to women, but this is the worst way because it can only absorb a little yin. The second is direct touch. As long as you come in contact with women then you can absorb their yin. This method is better than the first one. And lastly, by means of an intimate relationship, this method can benefit both parties, both of which will benefit from increasing their strength. Luckily I have the technique that really suits you. Gu Xian took a book from inside his shirt. On the cover of the book, it says The Heart of the King. This is a book for you. The requirements for processing it require a special body, ancient Yang. So this is the most suitable technique for you to learn. Gu Xian gave the book King's Heart to Ye Chen. Ye Chen soon receive and see the contents in it. The beginning of this book is almost the same as what Gu Xian said about how to manage Yang and absorb Yin from women, but after arriving at the middle of this book, the contents made Ye Chen dumbfounded. Here are written several ways teasing women to female satisfying techniques. Ye Chen, who is still a virgin, has never even kissed a woman. During a relationship with Yu Ting, Ye Chen only hugged and held hands. Gu Xianyang, seeing a twitch in the face, laughed, ha ha ha, how do you think a good book is not? You will definitely like it in the future. Master, do I have to learn it? To be honest, this technique is really very perverted for Ye Chen. If you don't want to live, then you don't need to study it. Besides, the time you have is less than 5 years. If you are not fast, you will surely die soon. Ye Chen could only take the book and save it for later study. Gu Xian stood up. Chen, is time to start our practice. Gu Xian took out an item from his storage ring. He lifted the object in the air. A light came out from it. The sky around Ye Che turned into a white field. We are now in the Wheel of Time. Here the time will be different from the real world, for one-time use of the Wheel of Time can last for 1 day. In the Wheel of Time 1 month only feels 1 day in the real world, so if we practice here for 1 year, in the real world only about 12 days only. Wow, cool. So if we practice in here for 10 years, then it's only 4 months in the real world. Ahem. Gu Xian coughs. Chen, this item is very rare. Even I only have 20 supplies, this is only enough for the next 20 months. Gu Xian informed that the wheel item was really quite difficult to get. Gu Xian, Chen, prepare you physically and mentally, because in the next 20 months I will train you very hard. Chapter 6, Preparing to Return to Planet Earth. Journey to Become a True God. Ye Chen saw a very beautiful lake. Around the lake there were a lot of beautiful women who were naked. They were bathing in the water of a fresh lake. Saw a beauty figure with a slim body, plump, snow-white skin, with crystal clear eyes and a goddess face. Ye Chen wanted to hug and kiss the women. Before Ye Chen could do it, suddenly Ye Chen's vision became blurry. When Ye Chen realized he was in his bed. Again I dreamed of that dream again. After Ye Chen had learned the technique of the King's Heart, every time he fell asleep he always dreamed of a spring dream, where Ye Chen saw many beautiful women. But every time Ye Chen wanted to pick them up his vision became blurry, and Ye Chen realized that he was in bed. It has been a year and a half after Ye Chen started his training. The figure of Ye Chen, who is now no longer like before, he now has a height of 182 centimeters. His body is no longer thin like in the past. Ye Chen's body is now full of muscles. His face is very handsome. His hair is long because it is not cut for quite a long time. Ye Chen rose from his bed. Ye Chen pinned his sign into a ponytail and went outside, leaving this ancient house. Ye Chen immediately flew towards the forest. Ye Chen looked around to find a monster to warm up his body. Finally, after walking around for several minutes, Ye Chen found a magic monster. The name of this magic monster is a Fire Fang Wolf. This magic monster has a height of 2.5 meters long and almost 3 meters long, with a pair of large fire fangs along 50 centimeters, which can tear the body of its prey easily. Ye Chen immediately landed in front of the Wolf of Fire Fangs, saw the arrival of Ye Chen of the Wolf of Fire Fangs, immediately brewed and put on standby mode. The Wolf of Fire Fangs then pounced towards Ye Chen. The Wolf of Fire Fangs opened its mouth to prepare to tear Ye Chen to shreds. The Fire Fang Wolf was getting closer to him, Ye Chen not dodging or dodging the attack of the Fire Fang Wolf. Ye Chen instead raised his hands and wanted to withstand the attack of the Fire Wolf. Bam! Lifting the wolf body's fangs into the air. Both hot fire fangs, as if unable to injure Ye Chen's palm. Ye Chen then twisted his body 360 degrees and prepared to throw the Fire Wolf fangs. Ye Chen turned faster and faster, and finally Ye Chen threw the wolf fangs of fire into the air. The Fire Fang Wolf was thrown tens of miles away. Finally the Fire Fang wolfed into the ground and made a big hole. Ye Chen flew in the direction where he threw the Wolf of Fire. When Ye Chen got there, he saw the Fire Wolf Fanged immediately got up and ran with lightning speed, trying to escape from Ye Chen. Saw the wolf fangs fled. Ye Chen finally shook his head. Too bad, when I just started warming up. Chen. When Ye Chen was about to search for new monsters to warm up, Gu Xian's voice called him, so he turned over. Chen, come with me, there is something important I want to say to you. Gu Xian went towards the ancient house. Ye Chen flying followed behind Gu Xian. Sit down. Ye Chen sat facing Gu Xian. Master, there is something important that you want to tell me. Ye Chen immediately asked what Gu Xian wanted to tell him. Gu Xian, it has been almost 20 months since I trained you, and you also have mastered all the skills that I have. Now is the time for you to go to your place of origin, solving your own ancient, yang, body problems. Ye Chen, I understand, teacher. Remember my last words well, protect what is guarded for you, even if it makes the whole world your enemy. In this world, strength is everything. You have can be stolen from you. Gu Xian was right. 1.5 years ago, when Ye Chen did not have the power of a vigilant thing, the woman Ye Chen loved was stolen by people stronger and richer than him. When deciding to climb the path of eternity, Ye Chen swore in the future he would protect things valuable thing that he has. Gu Xian, make sure you do not expose the legacy of the sage gods to anyone, because if it is known by greedy people, then they could harm you. Gu Xian advised Ye Chen. The words Gu Xian said sounded very serious. Even including the person closest to me, teacher? Ye Chen asked. Yes, that includes the people closest to you, because if it were to leak, all the gods of the realm will definitely hunt you down, even including your relatives or wives in the future. Listen to the consequences that are said. Gu Xian. Ye Chen must be careful starting now. Students will always remember the words of the teacher just now. The teacher also has a personal request. When you are strong enough, I want you to take care of my daughter. She is called Gu Sun. Right now she is in the star of the sacred heaven, which is one of the star kings in our domain. I heard that she has just been adopted as Snow Maiden's personal servant. Of course, Ye Chen also knew this beautiful woman in the Western Gods territory. Gu Xian once told the 4 most beautiful women in the West. Many strong men from various stars were willing to die to get their love and affection. One of them was named Dongfang Xiu, a woman. It also has the nickname of the snow butterfly goddess. Teacher, why is Gu Sun not staying with you? Ye Chen had never met the daughter of Gu Xian. It's a long story. She really hates me. That's why she doesn't even want to see me. Gu Xian clasping on his chest, thinking of a princess who hates him, makes his chest hurt. It's a long story. He really hates me. That's why he doesn't even want to see me. Gu Xian clasping on his chest, thinking of his daughter who hates him, makes Gu Xian's chest hurt. Master Ye Chen immediately stood up and supported Gu Xian. Sorry Chen, I can't tell you that. When I remember the mistake I had done, my heart felt stabbed by hundreds of knives. So sorry I couldn't tell. Gu Xian trying to stabilize his position. Ye Chen actually wondered what mistakes that made Gu Sun angry at Gu Xian, but seeing the teacher's current condition, Ye Chen didn't dare to ask and just nodded. Good teacher, I promise, if one day I have enough strength, then I will look after your daughter. Ye Chen promised Gu Xian. Thank you very much. Then Gu Xian took the ring on the ring finger and handed it to Ye Chen. Inside the storage ring there are several items that can help you raise your cultivation level. Ye Chen shook his head. No need for a teacher, I've had enough trouble for you all this time, I can't accept that anymore. Take this. I deliberately prepared for your departure. Gu Xian gave the storage ring to Ye Chen. Because Gu Xian forced Ye Chen to accept only thank you teacher. After receiving the ring, Ye Chen thanked Gu Xian. Gu Xian, inside the storage ring there is also a teleportation stone to return to your home planet. I also taught you how to use it in the past, now you can go. Ye Chen, good, teacher. When do you think we can meet again? I don't know, only time can answer that, Gu Xian said while stroking his beard. See you teacher again. Ye Chen activated the teleportation stone and a black hole appeared. Ye Chen jumped into the black hole. Seeing Ye Chen's figure gone, Gu Xian was relieved. Ah! An arrow of blood gushed out from Gu Xian's mouth. It seems like my time is no longer. Gu Xian is very old. Maybe Gu Xian doesn't have a long time to live. Gu Xian's reason didn't tell Ye Chen because he was afraid that if Ye Chen found out he would be very sad. Before leaving the world there was still one more thing he wanted to realize. Gu Xian flew away towards the horizon. Chapter 7, Terrorist in the Forest. Journey to become a true god. Teleportation stones are quite expensive items in the god realm. These stones can move a person instantly to the place he wants to go, but the coordinates appear randomly near the place in the destination. In front of his eyes Ye Chen saw the side of many trees. Finally, after all this time I returned to this place. Ye Chen took a deep breath and felt the air of the earth back. Even though the energy on earth is very thin, but there should still be many places that have pure energy that has not been polluted by pollution and can make a person break through to the overlord realm level. Ye Chen immediately flew at normal speed and looked around. Who knew there was a high-value herbal plant in this unspoiled forest? A familiar figure crossed Ye Chen's eyes. Ye Chen saw a wild mountain chicken, which was his favorite food when he was still in the village. It's just that because the chicken was very fast in running, it was quite difficult to catch it without using a trap. But now Ye Chen didn't need to use a trap anymore. Ye Chen disappeared from his place of origin. Ye Chen suddenly appeared behind the wild mountain rooster, reached out and immediately caught the wild mountain's chicken feet, and the wild mountain rooster, who was looking for food, had no time to escape and easily caught. Ha ha ha! I haven't eaten good food for a long time, and finally today I will eat delicious food. Ye Chen laughed while rubbing his chicken head in his hand. Ye Chen then went looking for a river to slaughter, pulling feathers and cleaning the inside of the chicken. Ye Chen's hands speed very fast. In a few minutes the chicken meat was finally clean and ready to be grilled. After that Ye Chen collected a branch or dry wood. Surely he didn't take one by one. He used his mental strength, twigs, and dry wood that were within tens of meters, flying to Ye Chen's front. Now all that's left is to collect the spices. Ye Chen then walked through the forest to find some spices. A few minutes later Ye Chen held some fresh spices. Ye Chen smeared the chicken with herbs, then the wood that he had collected was stacked and a small flame appeared from Ye Chen's finger and burned the wood. This fire was an ordinary weak fire. Ye Chen thought if using deep fire the wood in a few seconds immediately to ashes. Ye Chen started to fill the chicken meat. Ye Chen couldn't wait to eat the roast chicken. Ye Chen lifted the cooked roast chicken and smelled the aroma. It smells good, but it's a shame there is no barbecue sauce. If there is, definitely this pangong chicken will be better. Please? Please. When Ye Chen was about to take a bite, he heard someone's voice asking for help, so Ye Chen put the roast chicken immediately disappeared towards the sound. When he arrived the place, Ye Chen saw the woman who was running with some torn clothes, and behind her there were two people wearing black face masks carrying an AK-47 type rifle. terrorist. That is all that Yachen can conclude, so Yachen immediately rushes to save that woman. The woman continued to run, but she felt her whole body was hot and her body was a little to soften a little. Ah! The woman stumbled and fell. She saw the two men who were chasing her near close. Feeling desperate, the woman closed her eyes and accepted her destiny. Just then the woman heard the sound of falling objects and saw a young man in modest clothes, long hair, standing in front of her. The woman just glanced at the figure and her vision became black and she fainted. Seeing someone darting down from the sky into the two people that stopped and pointed the AK-47 weapon towards Yachen. At the sight of a young man in shabby clothes, "Young people, hurry up and move away from our affairs or you will kill me," the two men sneered and looked down at Yachen. "Really? And then show what you can do now." Yachen's turn underestimated. "You dare?" The terrorist immediately raised his arms and ready to shoot Yachen. "Wait, why don't we torture him first, until he begs us?" Terrorists beside him give advice to other terrorists to torture Yachen alone. Then the person who gave the suggestion of putting on an iron boxing glove rushed towards Yachen. Yachen laughed at this anchovy in his heart. When the terrorist was ready to hit Yachen's face, Yachen quickly grabbed his neck and slammed it hard on the ground. Bang! The sound of broken bones is heard loudly. Seeing his colleague easily dropped by Yachen, the terrorist immediately shot Yachen. Bam! 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 All bullets are shot, none of Yachen. Go to Yachen's speed so fast that the terrorist only saw his shadow. When the terrorist noticed that Yachen was already in front of him, and Yachen's hand poked his chest. When Yachen's punch landed, the terrorist felt his entire internal organs shift and he bounced a few meters to hit a tree and cough up blood. Seeing the two terrorists fainted, Yachen immediately walked towards the woman, but his footsteps stopped. He felt a dozen someone approaching towards him. Chapter 8. Battle with Mercenaries. Journey to become a true god. The sound of the running man's footsteps increasingly clicked. Yachen turned towards the voice. Immediately several people dressed similar to the two people who had just been beat up by Yachen appeared and they were pointing their weapons towards Yachen. Seeing more than dozens of weapons leading to him, Yachen still did not show the expression of distress or fear. He even showed a smile. "Please lower your weapons. We can talk, well, right?" With a smile, Yachen tried to break the ice. The terrorists only look at each other, and there is a burly person coming out of the crowd, that bald man that has a scorpion tattoo on his cheek. He then looked at the two people who fainted on the ground and said, "Are you the one who injured my two subordinates, less than 20 years? Seeing that bald man, Yachen wanted to play with him. "I didn't do it. How could I not have a weapon? Weapon can bring down two people who have firearms. You think you can fool people like me? I just heard gunfire and only you were here, so if it wasn't you, who else would hurt both of them? Kill him and feed his body to the dog." Ha 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 ha. The bald man gave orders to the subordinates behind him. Hearing the bald man's words, Yachen's eyebrows were slightly raised because they were not happy. "If you get the wrath of the gods, you know." Terrorists who listen to Yachen laugh immediately. Their fingers will press the trigger, but before their fingers press them they feel the heavy hammer hit his chest and they all fly a few meters backwards. The bald man who gave the order was confused because there was still no gunfire after a long time, so the bald man looked back and saw that all his subordinates had been ground on the ground and their mouths were bleeding. Seeing this, strange bald man was a little scared. He saw the figure of Yachen Yang still standing at his place of origin and not moving an inch. "Look, what I say is right. They are all affected by God's wrath for trying to kill good people. Like me, maybe your turn will be affected by God's wrath." Of course the person who injured everyone was Yachen. Yachen used the 9 shadow step and in several seconds hit the man's selves lying on the ground. This move could create shadows that could trick the enemy and the total shadow that could be made by the moves. This reaches 9 figures. When using this style, Yachen changed right where he stood with a lot and he himself went behind the bald man with a very fast speed and beat everyone, and Yachen did it in less than 2 seconds. Looking at this strange, "Who are you really?" The bald man began to fear Yachen. "I'm just a school student who was lost in the forest," Yachen answered as is. "Where is Mukin? There is a school student like you, The bald man was still not satisfied with Ye Chen's answer. It's up to you want to believe or not, for me no problem. Actually I do not like violence, but because you want to try to kill me, then I will give you a lesson that you will not forget in this life. Ye Chen smiles, and smiles are like devils. Hearing that, the bald man immediately pulled a pair of scimitar weapons from his backyard. The bald man then leveled the combat position. Immediately he ran towards Ye Chen's scimitar. His left hand was cutting horizontally towards Ye Chen. While Ye Chen was still relaxed, he stretched out his right hand and pinched the sword. Seeing what bald head was doing, he only smirked and thought Ye Chen was too great. Clank! The scimitar held on to Ye Chen's thumb and index finger. The bald man was surprised, and because he panicked, he tried to cut down the scimitar in the other hand to Ye Chen. Ye Chen also used his other hand to hold the bald man's wrist and squeeze him. Croak! Croak! The sound of bones cracking could be heard in the silent forest. Ye Chen then threw it like throwing cotton. The bald man fell down and curled up on the ground of misery. He saw his arms bent. He saw Ye Chen in horror. Ye Chen walked over. Ye Chen walked over to the bald man. Ye Chen approached the bald man, was afraid, and tried to lift and run away from Ye Chen. Don't come near, you Satan. I know I was wrong, so please don't come closer. No matter how bald, the man begged Ye Chen to ignore him and walk over. Ye Chen actually does not want to be cruel, but these people also often kill cruelly, so what for loving them? Ye Chen lifted his legs and stepped on the bald man's calves. The bald man felt extreme pain. Little grandfather, I know wrong, so please let me go. The bald man's arrogance was no longer there. He could only hope to stand away from this devil. Ye Chen, you said you would kill me and give it to the dog. Why don't you try it now? Ye Chen then strengthened his permission. No, I was just kidding, so please let me go. With a painful expression, the bald man, who had a burly body, begged Ye Chen. Well, you know you're wrong, then will you repeat it again? No, I won't dare to repeat it, so please let me go this time. Too bad. If I let you go, then surely you will kill so many people, so I decided to make you paralyzed for life. Croak K. Croak. Bone sounds cracked back. Just kill me instead of feeling this extreme pain. He would rather die. Death is too luxurious for you, so it's better to torture you. With Ye Chen's vicious smile stepping on the other bald man's feet again. The basis of Satan, my organization will definitely never let you go. The pariah kept screaming in pain. I do not mind to destroy your organization, and you must have also tortured your victims like I do now, so what, have you ever felt sorry for them? So accept your karma for your actions. Within minutes the screams of pain were heard in the forest, and some of the bones were both stiff and the bald man's hands were broken, even though he could still live. The bald man could only be a person with a disability for the rest of his life. Seeing that bald man had learned Ye Chen's lesson, then walked towards the collapsed woman. Chapter 9, Cure Glamorous Women. Journey to become a true god. Ye Chen approached this beautiful woman. Ye Chen saw a very glamorous adult woman. She had a beautiful white face and a devilish body. 2 large rabbits belonging to this glamorous woman, estimated to be the size of E or F cup. Even though this woman's long hair was a bit messy and still could not cover the beauty of this woman's property, this woman was the most beautiful woman Ye Chen had ever met. Ye Chen crouched down and took the hands of the glamorous adult woman. This woman's hand was very soft. Ye Chen immediately dispelled dirty thoughts and checked the pulse of the woman of today. Ye Chen felt something was wrong with the glamorous woman's body. The blood flow was too fast. The body of the woman today was also hot. When Ye Chen touched his wrist, the glamorous woman opened her eyelids. The glamorous woman saw the face of a very handsome man. Because she felt her body hot and uncomfortable, like thousands of ants crawling all over her body, the first thing she wanted was to pounce on Ye Chen. Glamorous woman suddenly hugged Ye Chen to the ground. Ye Chen was quite dumbfounded. The mature woman reached out her hand to Ye Chen's shirt. The glamorous woman wanted to open the button of her shirt. Ye Chen immediately stopped the glamorous lady's hand from acting any further. Give it to me. Please give it to me. My body is very uncomfortable for some reason today. His lust exploded and he was very aroused at this time. Ye Chen, who heard this, knew what had happened to this woman. It seems like an adult woman was poisoned by an aphrodisiac. Ye Chen then locked both of these glamorous women's hands so that they would not move much anymore. Aphrodisiacs dangerous enough if not handled immediately, this can damage the body of this woman. Yes. Definitely the bald man has the antidote. Ye Chen just remembered. Ye Chen held a glamorous woman like a princess and immediately walked towards the bald man. The bald man was still lying on the ground. He saw Ye Chen approaching him again. The bald man was immediately scared. Say, where did you keep the antidote that you gave this woman? Ye Chen said in a commanding voice. The bald man was very scared of Ye Chen. He immediately said, this is a newly developed drug, so there is no antidote. Listen to the answer from the bald man. Ye Chen not satisfied. Ye Chen wanted to kick this bald man. Seeing Ye Chen not satisfied with his answer, the bald man said again, this aphrodisiac is not too high a dose, so you just need to make it reach the peak by touching the woman's body. If you dare to trick me, then I will make you even more sorry. After saying those words, Ye Chen immediately took the adult woman away. Ye Chen immediately looked for a suitable place to heal adult women. After a few minutes, Ye Chen finally found a large tree that could be used to treat glamorous women. Ye Chen immediately approached and descended on the branches of a large tree. On top of the big tree there is a flat place. This is better than on the ground. A mature woman who is holding Ye Chen before his eyes. If Ye Chen was not aroused with this, then he was not a man. Ye Chen was also a normal man. Seeing a beautiful woman who was teasing a devil like this was where Ye Chen might stand it. Ye Chen tore up the clothes of the adult woman and a black underwear appeared in Ye Chen's eyes. Ye Chen saw the two peaks soaring high covered up by a black bra. The glamorous woman's private parts were also covered by black lace panties, which made Ye Chen even more excited about. Ye Chen's heartbeat was getting faster. Ye Chen was the first to do this. But Ye Chen was very confident because Ye Chen had learned all the techniques in the King's Heart technique that could satisfy every woman in the world. Ye Chen reached out his hands to the two big white rabbits of the glamorous woman, and Ye Chen began to squeeze them. The sensation of squeezing this thing was very springy and pleasant. Feeling the touch of Ye Chen's hand, the body of the glamorous woman, like in provocation, she immediately shouted, "Ah, again, more. Touch more. Good, delicious." Ye Chen's hands-on hands are really fun. It's thousands of times better than when a glamorous woman touches her body using her own hands. Hearing the scream of a mature woman, Ye Chen was excited. Ye Chen added strength to the squeeze. Ye Chen's fingers were only separated by a black silk bra that was quite thin. Do more. I want more. It feels wonderful. Adult women shout with great satisfaction. It feels like going up to heaven, and a very pleasant voice continues to come out of this glamorous adult woman. Because he was not satisfied with touching through a bra, Ye Chen finally let go of this woman's black silk bra. After the black silk bra was released, two pink cherries bounced in front of Ye Chen. Ye Chen really admired this beautiful work in front of his eyes. Greedily Ye Chen sucked and nibbled the cherries of women these days so as to make adult women feel pleasure. Don't bite. Sick. Sick. Lighter. Unbelievable. Glamorous adult woman gets more and more pleasure so that her mind becomes empty and cannot think clearly. Ye Chen didn't forget to suck. Yin Shi, women's today, even though the amount is little but better than nothing. Moans of pleasure from the glamorous adult woman continued and continued to be heard in this silent forest. After 15 minutes the moans finally stopped. How many times had the woman reached the top? The glamorous adult woman huddled next to Ye Chen and slept with a very satisfied face. Ye Chen took the blanket from his storage ring and covered it on the body of the naked female adult. Ye Chen began to remember the madness just now. It was said in the technique of the female King's Heart that had felt the technique of the King's Heart that he would not be satisfied anymore having sex with normal people. Ye Chen also did not know the origin or name of this woman, but if this woman wanted to be responsible, then Ye Chen would definitely be responsible, because he was not a person who would run away after doing something like this. After all, this woman was still a beauty like a goddess. Chapter 11, Looking for a Way Out. Journey to become a true god. Ye Chen, oh yeah, how could you be kidnapped by those people just now? Sumensin began to remember. I remember I was attending a party. But because many people were trying to gather around me, it made me uncomfortable, so I intended to get some fresh air outside, but from behind someone held me with a handkerchief with sleeping pills, and when I woke up I was already there. A container truck with some people in it armed. Ye Chen, oh, I see, then do you know what their purpose was? To kidnap you? Sumensin, I also don't know, maybe they want money or something, Sumensin answered uncertainly. I understand. You must be hungry. Eat this roast chicken. Ye Chen handed over another piece of meat to Sumensin. Sumensin took the danging from Ye Chen's hand. Seeing the roast chicken, he was a little doubtful whether it could be eaten, seeing Sumensin's hesitation to eat it, so Ye Chen tried to convince him. With gusto. Sumensin's Puchi laughing seeing the way Ye Chen ate. So Sumensin smelled the aroma first. The aroma of this roasted chicken was very fragrant. Then Sumensin took one small bite. Sumensin felt that this roast chicken was very tasty, so he took one more bite. Ye Chen saw Sumensin eating gracefully. It didn't seem to be that he cared about his image. After finishing their meal, they exchanged many words, and Ye Chen also told some funny jokes to Sumensin. The two of them did not expect their relationship to be very close. Ye Chen also didn't skip over to this opportunity and absorb Sumensin's Yinkai. Let's get down and find a way out of this. Huitan. Ye Chen stood up from his seat. Sumensin also just remembered they were in a tree now. Sumensin also stood up from his seat and stood beside Ye Chen's body. He looked down, and it turned out that this tree was quite high, at an estimated 15 meters from the ground. Sumensin began to think about how Ye Chen could carry him up when he fainted. Okay, come on down. Ye Chen then held Sumensin like a princess. Sumensin did not expect Ye Chen would treat him like this. He was quite happy, but the next instant Sumensin became afraid. Ye Chen immediately took him jumping down. Sumensin only closed his eyes and buried his face in Ye Chen's chest. After a few seconds the sound of the wind stopped. Sumensin was relieved that the two of them were still alive. He did not expect that Ye Chen would immediately jump down, especially the height of the tree was still 15 meters. Ye Chen, you almost scared me to death. Sumensin tried to protest to Ye Chen. Ha ha ha, we are still alive, so it's okay. Ye Chen then walked first and was followed by Sumensin behind him. If they wanted to get out of this forest, it was better to follow in the footsteps of the assassins just now. Actually, if Ye Chen wanted to leave the forest, this was easy enough because he could fly right away, but he couldn't do it because after all there was Sumensin nearby. Ye Chen didn't want to expose his strength, so he can only walk with Sumensin. Sumensin still wore a cloth to cover her body. After a few minutes of walking, Ye Chen and Sumensin arrived at the Ye Chen battlefield. Before, Sumensin saw a lot of corpses lying on the ground. Out of curiosity, Sumensin asked Ye Chen, are you the one who did this? How can I explain it? I just beat them up, so I left them for a few minutes, and when I returned they all died. I predict they were killed by their own colleagues. Ye Chen did not think that Sumensin was not afraid to see many corpses. He was used to seeing this. I understand. Sumensin did not ask further. Even if Ye Chen killed them, he would not blame him, because after all Ye Chen's life Asti was struck, because if he didn't do it then Ye Chen himself might be the one who would die. Let's just follow this trail, maybe we will find a way. Then they both walked together through this forest. Suddenly Sumensin fell. Seeing this, Ye Chen immediately approached and asked what's wrong. I sprained my ankle. Sumensin wore wearing shoes that were pretty good and not suitable for walking in a forest full of plants and rocks like this. Hold on a moment, I will help you. Ye Chen then gently grabbed Sumensin's feet and massaged her, only from the chin. Yes, Sumensin groaned. With pleasure. Meng Mensin did not deny that Ye Chen's massage technique was very good. Finished, Ye Chen saw Sumensin close his eyes and really enjoyed his massage. How can you stand up? Listen to Ye Chen's words. Finally Sumensin woke up and tried to stand up, but when he wanted to stand up, Sumensin felt his feet soft and would fall. Ye Chen immediately reacted and held Pinggong Sumensin's support. Sumensin, are you alright? Ye Chen asked worriedly. Not just a little limp while holding on to Ye Chen. Then how about I carry you, then? Ye Chen asked me to carry Sumensin. Doesn't Ye Chen bother you? Embarrassed. It will not bother me at all. Come on, otherwise the day might get more and more. Ye Chen bowed and waited for Sumensin to get on his back. Chapter 12, Dragon Special Forces. Journey to become a true god. Sumensin climbed onto Ye Chen's back. On Ye Chen's back, Sumensin felt a feeling of security and comfort. In contrast to Sumensin, Ye Chen felt a soft object pressing against his back. Ye Chen also held Sumensin's two thighs so that she would not fall. Sumensin was very embarrassed when Ye Chen touched her thigh. Sumensin did not protest. It was hugged so that she did not fall. Male backs are very wide and comfortable, Sumensin muttered. Did you say something? Ye Chen was not very clear what Sumensin murmured just now. Nothing. Sumensin didn't expect Ye Chen could hear it. During this time Ye Chen kept carrying Sumensin without any stops at all. Sumensin was closing her eyes and enjoying it, but Ye Chen suddenly stopped. What's up, tired? Asked Sumensin, worrying that Ye Chen was exhausted. Both of them had walked for half an hour. Ye Chen, looks like I heard there were helicopters flying towards us. Sumensin didn't hear the sound of a helicopter. Ye Chen's hearing there was no doubt. After 3 minutes finally Sumensin heard the sound of a propeller from the helicopter. Ye Chen looked up. He saw several helicopters flying in the sky. From the emblem it must belong to the government army. Ye Chen, let's go to the open place so they can see us, Sumensin suggested to Ye Chen. Fine. Ye Chen led Sumensin to an open place then lowered it. We are here. We are here. Sumensin tried to wave her hand and shout so that the helicopter above could see them. Seeing Sumensin's reaction, Sumensin might know the people in this helicopter. Because Sumensin knew them, Ye Chen no longer needed to protect her. Ye Chen slipped away to hide behind the trees. Ye Chen, we survived. When he turned around, Sumensin did not see Ye Chen's figure. Sumensin looked around but still did not see the signs of Ye Chen. Ye Chen, where are you? Sumensin tried to call out but there was no response at all. The helicopter that saw Sumensin's whereabouts came down immediately. Ye Chen was still watching behind the trees to make sure something unexpected happened. When the door to the helicopter opened, Ye Chen saw the woman in the army uniform. The woman behind was followed by several fully armed soldiers. Ye Chen saw that these people were highly trained. While the woman who was highly respected by these people turned out to be a cultivator who was in the early stages of the Earth realm, it was estimated that this woman's age was almost the same as Sumensin. In the clothes that this woman was wearing there is a dragon symbol. Ye Chen had heard that there was a Chinese special forces named Dragon and the leader was a very beautiful woman. According to rumors, she had destroyed a terrorist organization that had thousands of members of its own. But no one had ever known her face or what her name was, because Dragon Army members are very mysterious and very secretive. Even some people think that this rumor is a lie. Ye Chen predicted this woman was a member of the Dragon Special Force because her strength was quite strong. Seeing this is really Sumensin. Female warriors happy. Miss Su, your grandfather is very anxious because you disappeared. Almost all the troops plunged to look for you. The woman looked at Sumensin from top to bottom even though she was only wearing a blanket, but there was no trace of injury on his body, so he was relieved. The Waniata soldier gave her clothes to cover Sumensin's body. Miss Su, what happened to you? Asked the female soldier. Sumensin ignored this woman and continued to try to find Ye Chen's traces. The female soldier was not angry, ignored by Sumensin. Come on, Miss Su. We are going home. This place is not good for you. Female soldiers tried to pull Sumensin into the helicopter. Sumensin tried to rebel when being dragged into the helicopter. Wait a minute. Ye Chen, I know you are still around here, so come out. Let's go with us to leave this forest. Sumensin tried to persuade Ye Chen out. Unfortunately, there is still no answer. The female soldier near Sumensin was confused. She was a cultivator. She could detect people around her. The female soldier did not feel at all the existence of other people except the soldiers who followed behind her. Miss Su, there is no one here. Let's go home. Maybe you are hallucinating. the female soldiers persuaded So Men-sin to get into the helicopter immediately. No, it's not a hallucination. How can it be a hallucination? She felt affection and comfort when he was near Yachen that had never been given by anyone else, even his own family. So Men-sin, since she was a child, lived alone. All of her family were busy working until they never had time for themselves. So Men-sin never felt love or comfort from her family. Miss So, we have to get out of this forest as fast as possible or else there will be very angry grandfather later. Female soldiers invited So Men-sin to leave here. So Men-sin knew that Yachen was avoiding her. Are you trying to hide from this woman? Just watch, I will definitely find you. So Men-sin then went inside the helicopter. Before she entered, So Men-sin did not forget to turn her head. The helicopter's engine was turned on and ascended into the sky. The helicopter flew out of the forest. After So Men-sin's helicopter left Yachen out of its hiding place, it seems that So Men-sin's background is strong enough that even her grandfather could give direct orders to the elite army. The reason Yachen avoided it was because if he joined So Men-sin, it was likely that he would be suspected by these army soldiers. It would bring trouble in the future. Yachen saw the helicopter fly farther and farther away until it was not seen. Well, it's time to go home. I haven't visited Grandpa's grave for over 2 years. Yachen then flew and went towards his hometown. Chapter 13, Return to my hometown. Journey to become a true god. Yachen flew casually towards his hometown. Yachen needed more than an hour to get to his hometown. An old wooden house was finally seen in front of Yachen. The wood of this house looked very damaged. This house might collapse at any time. This was very not suitable for someone to live in. This is the Yachen house and his grandfather. This house is a place full of happy memories with his grandfather. Yachen walked towards the entrance. Inside the house of goods and furniture still looks the same as when Yachen left this house. Lots of dust and lots of dense profit in the house because it is not cleaned for a long time. Yachen entered his room. Yachen opened a drawer to look for something. In the drawer there was a picture of Yachen with his grandfather. This was the only picture that Yachen took with his grandfather when his grandfather was still alive. Yachen's grandfather's name was Yahan, even though he was not his biological grandfather, but Yahan had cared for Yachen from childhood until he grew up. Yachen was very eager to make Yahan happy by always diligently studying so that one day Yachen could get a decent job and change the lives of the two of them. But fate said otherwise. When Yachen was only 15 years old, his grandfather slipped and entered the abyss, leaving Yachen alone. Because Yahan died, Yachen began to support himself by selling vegetables and fruit that he could get on the mountain behind this house. Yachen's backyard was a forest, so Yachen could always get free food from the wild. A year later, Yachen graduated and got a scholarship. Finally, Yachen could attend school more properly in the city. Oh, I almost forgot. I have been gone for a long time. Maybe I will be expelled from school. Yachen almost forgot if he had been gone for a long time, even though Yachen had been gone for almost a year and a half, but it was inside the wheel of time and is estimated to be only 1 month in the real world. Seeing the many problems that Yachen had to face, he decided to solve them later. Now Yachen was a cultivator. Problems like this could definitely be overcome easily. Yachen went to the forest behind the house to look for flowers. After Yachen found the flower he was looking for, Yachen picked it and arranged it. Yachen then went to the public cemetery in the village. That's where Yahan was buried. When he arrived there, Chen walked to his grandfather's grave. Yachen found it under the headstone of Yahan's grave. There was another bouquet of flowers. It looked still quite new. It was predicted 2 or 3 days ago. It seemed like someone else visited his tomb. Chen did not know who that person was. Yachen was confused because grandfather did not have distant relatives, so Yachen was quite curious as to who put this garland. Yachen approached and put a bouquet of flowers that he made under Yahan's headstone. Yachen crouched down and held the tombstone. Sorry grandfather, it's been a long time I didn't visit you. I hope you were happy there. You don't need to worry about me anymore because of your granddaughter. It's no longer like before. I promise to live a good and happy life from now on. While Yachen shed tears. Yachen recalled all the things he had gone through with his grandfather, the joys and sorrows they passed together. Yachen didn't realize that the day was getting darker. Yachen said goodbye and went home. In this house there is no electricity, the lighting is only a candle. Yachen took a crystal from his storage ring and put it on the table. When Yachen poured, the strength of this crystal shines like a lamp. Yachen did not sleep, he began to cultivate, perhaps because it had become a habit for Yachen at this time. Time went on and on. Knock knock, a knock from the door. Who visited me at this time of the night? Yachen then moved out of his bed and opened the door. When the door opened, Yachen saw the person visiting was the village head of Huangbao. Village head, what are you doing at this time of night at my place? Yachen asked. Who are you? Why do you live in the Ye family's home? When he saw the Ye family's house head, the light Bao Bao went there to ascertain whether Yachen went home. Huang Bao did not know who the man who opened the door. Yehun's house had not been inhabited for a long time. At this time Yehun's buddy was also studying in the city. So who is this young man? Yachen, village head, you visited my house and don't know who I am. Was your head kicked by a horse just now? You are Yachen. You are very different from the Yachen that I used to know. Huang Bao looked up and down. He could not believe that this was Yachen. Yachen was now even more handsome than the actors on television. Yachen, yes, so what do you need at this time of night to visit my house? May I come in? I will explain inside. Please enter. Yachen let Huang Bao into Yachen's worn-out house. Huang Bao then sat in a chair that was very old, while Huang Bao sat in the chair making a squeaking noise that might break. Actually, to come here I want to give you something. Huang Bao then issued a letter and handed it to Yachen. Chapter 14, Mysterious Letter. Journey to Become a True God. Yachen took a letter from Huang Bao then opened it. Inside the letter there was a sheet of paper which was neatly folded. Yachen read the contents of this letter. After reading, Yachen asked, from whom is this letter? A few days ago someone was looking for your grandfather. That person said that he was your grandfather's friend, so I told him he was dead. The old man was quite surprised to hear your grandfather was dead. He then asked where your grandfather ate, so I drove him to the funeral. Your grandfather, after he got there, that guy told me to leave it alone. Huang Bao. A few hours later that person came again to me and asked if Yehun had a child. I told him that Yehun had no children but had a grandson who was in school named Yachen. That person then asked for a picture of you. Unfortunately I did not have. I said that Yachen used to come back here every few months. Maybe he would come back in the near future. The old man then gave me a letter and asked to hand it to you when you returned later. Huang Bao told everything that happened a few days ago to Yachen. I see. Listening to the story of Huang Bao, Yachen understood why there was a bouquet of flowers in his grandfather's grave. Huang Bao was quite curious about the contents of the letter and asked Yachen what is in the letter. The old man wants me to go to his place. He wants to talk privately with me. Here is also written the complete address of the old man. The old man is very rich. He drives a luxury car that costs millions of dollars. I did not expect your grandfather to have a very rich friend. When said luxury car, eyes Huang Bao shining. In the village very rarely someone saw a luxury car, let alone have it. Even Huang Bao, who is the village head with an annual salary of only $20,000. What's more, the population here may be less than $5,000 a year, because that is why many people from the village are trying their luck in big cities, so they can change their lives. Yachen, my grandfather never told me about friends or relatives. Who exactly is this old man? Yachen was increasingly curious about this old man. If you are curious, why not just go to that address, said Huang Bao. Yachen, you Bernard, maybe I will go there to make sure who this person is. It's night, I have to go. There are still many jobs that I have not completed. Huang Bao said goodbye to Yachen and left Yachen's home. After escorting the head of Huang Bao village go to the door, Yachen returned to bed to start cultivating again. Initially Yachen was very bored while cultivating, but over time Yachen started to get used to it. Even though Yachen's record was the longest time to cultivate for only 5 days, that was long enough according to Yachen. When Yachen was already bored, He would start training his body or technique. Sometimes Ye Chen learned how to forge spiritual equipment. Ye Chen learned through the books given by Gu Xian. Author's note: to forge spiritual equipment in need of some special ingredients. If during the process fails, then all materials will be lost. One must have the attributes of fire and control are very good when forging. If the fire control is not good, the higher the level of failure. The sound of the cock crowing Ye Chen heard opened his eyes. Ye Chen got up from the bed and relaxed his body. Before Ye Chen returned to Ye Chen City, first wants to renovate this house. This house has a lot of rotten wood in the age of eating. Ye Chen was afraid when he left this house would be damaged and destroyed. It is better to fix it and install runes so that the house is not damaged. Ye Chen left for the mountain to cut down some trees. Ye Chen used his power to cut down and bring trees back home. The house that looked like it was now needed to look like Ye Chen had carved several dragon images on the pillars of the house and the walls. When Ye Chen had finished repairing the house, it was already noon. The process to repair the house turned out to take longer than Ye Chen had expected. It was time for Ye Chen to return to the city. Because Ye Chen did not have a penny in his body, Ye Chen decided to just fly apart from saving money and saving travel time. Actually, Ye Chen did not want to expose his powers too much. To go from the village to Ye Chen City only takes less than 30 minutes. First, Ye Chen went to his rented house. He hoped his belongings were not thrown away by the landlord. While flying over the city, Ye Chen used a protector to hide himself from being seen by ordinary people in the city. When he reached the front yard of the rented room, Ye Chen immediately went to the entrance and wanted to open the door. Unfortunately, the door was locked. Ye Chen used his spirit sensei to find out if anyone was inside. Apparently someone had already occupied Ye Chen's rented room. Ye Chen tried to knock on the door and ask the new owner. A fat man opens the door. "Hello friend, can I help you? Are you the new tenant in this room?" Ye Chen asked. "Yes, I just rented this a few days ago," answered the fat man. "Oh sorry, I will excuse myself first." Ye Chen didn't want to waste time. He decided to go to the landlord's place and ask where his belongings were. The landlord's residence is not far from here, and only takes a few minutes to get there. After several minutes of walking, finally Ye Chen arrived in front of the landlord's house. Ye Chen lapped at the landlord's door. "Wait a minute," from within someone answered. After a while, finally a 40-year-old woman opened the door. This woman was wearing clothes that were very open to her makeup that was very thick. The landlord who opened the door was shocked to see a handsome man standing in front of her house. Saw this man, landlord rose up. This landlord often slept with different men every day. Some young men who could not pay rent rooms were forced to serve her at night day. "Look at the handsome Ye Chen," to the landlord, like a meat delivered to the mouth of a tiger. Chapter 15 became popular. Journey to become a true god. Ye Chen saw the eyes of the hungry landlord who was starving, which at any time would pounce on him. All Ye Chen wanted to do was to take his belongings. "Hello, my landlord is Ye Chen, a tenant in room 8. Previously, I came here. I want to take my belongings. Are they still available?" Ye Chen still asked politely. Landlord, it seems like, not listening to Ye Chen at all. Her mind at this time only wanted to immediately connect item with this handsome man. "What you just said I didn't hear. I was a tenant in room 8. Previously, I came here to get my belongings that were left behind. Do I still have my stuff?" Ye Chen repeated his words. "Oh, of course there is. Please go in first." The landlord invited Ye Chen to enter the house. The landlord named Yu Ye. Yu Ye drove Ye Chen to the living room, then told to sit down. Yu Ye went to the second floor to get Ye Chen's belongings. A long time. Ye Chen did not expect Yu Ye to be very long when he took his belongings. Finally, the sound of footsteps coming from the stairs. Ye Chen saw Yu Ye holding his bag, which was strange. Old woman Yu Ye was wearing a transparent nightgown and was wearing a sexy underwear. Obviously this whore wanted to tease Ye Chen. The thing Ye Chen was afraid of finally happened. This woman definitely wanted to do something strange to himself. Yu Ye approached Ye Chen and sat next to Ye Chen. Old woman Yu Ye then handed the bag to Ye Chen. This is your stuff. Ye Chen immediately received the bag and looked inside. All of it were Ye Chen's belongings. When Ye Chen checked his bag, Yu Ye's fingers touched Ye Chen's thigh. Handsome man, what if tonight accompany me to sleep? This whore really had an idea to him. Ye Chen immediately put Yu Ye's hand away and away from her. Landlord, please take care of your attitude. Come look here, I still have a pretty good body, do you not want to? Yu Ye continued to say vulgar words to Ye Chen. Ye Chen was displeased with this. Ye Chen immediately stood up and went straight to the exit. Unfortunately the exit was locked. Ye Chen furrowed his brows. Haha, handsome, you won't be able to escape from me tonight. Old lady Yu Ye laughed so creepily. How could a wooden door stop a person like Ye Chen? Ye Chen used his strength to force the door open. After the door opened, Ye Chen ran as fast as he could. See, Ye Chen can open the door. Yu Ye panicked, want to immediately chase Ye Chen. When Yu Ye reached the entrance, Yu Ye did not see the figure of Ye Chen. Damn, handsome man managed to escape from me. If I meet again, I will not let go. Yu Ye with sad back into the house. Ye Chen entered into a small alley. Ye Chen felt strange, even though the landlord would never see it. Now the landlord's reaction was too excessive. Ye Chen went to the cash withdrawal machine to see the remaining money in his savings account. When Ye Chen checked only 3 digits, the figure appeared on the screen, only staying $150 with a small amount of money. Ye Chen could not possibly fulfill his daily needs. Ye Chen still needed new clothes because his old clothes didn't fit anymore to be used now. Ye Chen decided to buy clothes first. Luckily there was a clothing store nearby that was quite large. When Ye Chen entered, he was welcomed by the girl in the clothing store clerk. When this woman saw Ye Chen, the woman was stunned. Handsome, the woman's face turned red. This woman looked at Ye Chen with a very high obsession. I want to buy a suit that fits my size. This employee girl did not listen to Ye Chen's words. She was still focused on observing Ye Chen's handsome face. Ahem, Ye Chen finally coughed. Coughing, Ye Chen woke up. This girl, what did you say just now? I said I want to buy a suit for my size, Ye Chen said. She saw the clothes worn by Ye Chen quite worn out. Come here, I have clothes that might suit you. Without waiting for Ye Chen's approval, the servant girl pulled Ye Chen toward the clothes rack. In the mind of the servant girl, Ye Chen might be a person who wasn't too rich. Maybe she could take care of her being a white face. If Ye Chen knew what was on the mind of this employee girl, maybe Ye Chen would be upset. This employee girl chose a few clothes and pants and handed it to Ye Chen. Handsome, hurry up. Try this outfit. Ye Chen went to the dressing room. While Ye Chen was opening the top of the shirt, the female employee girl suddenly opened a little gap. How does it fit? Before the employee girl finished, her words stopped. Wow, a very perfect abdominal muscle. Saw Ye Chen's bare chest girl getting more and more excited. Hey Chin, what are you doing to our customers? A female voice was heard behind the female employee girl. Ah, Sister Lin, me. The girl called by Chin was nervous when she tried to answer. How could she tell that she was peering at customers? So the woman named Lin walked towards the girl Chin. When she saw a handsome man who was in the locker room, Lin's woman's heartbeat was getting faster. Lin had never seen a guy as handsome as this. In her life, even his idol actors in front of Ye Chen could only be insane rubbish. Lin ignored the Chin girl and immediately grabbed Ye Chen's hands. Handsome, do you want to be my boyfriend? Lin's woman immediately expressed feelings to Ye Chen. Chin girl who saw this angry, Lin's sister does not open. You already have a boyfriend, how can you do this? I will immediately break up with him, Lin replied without looking away. The Chin girl did not accept that she was trying to separate Lin and Ye Chen. What are you trying to do? Lin said angrily. I found it first, so he is mine. Chin tried to fight Lin. Haha Chin, look at you, do you want to compete with me? Your breasts are even still quite small, while insulting Chin. Lin showing off 2 big mountains. How could the Chin girl accept with defeat? I can still grow, but look at you, soon wrinkles will appear on your face. Chin girl back taunting Lin. Here this woman Lin is not happy. Both of them continued to throw taunting words at each other, whereas Ye Chen quickly wore his clothes. The commotion of these two people attracted the interest of customers and employees in the shop. When the women saw Yachen's face, they immediately fell in love and immediately rushed towards Yachen. Seeing some women grunting, Yachen feeling uneasy feelings in his heart, Yachen saw various women of different ages gathering near him. Handsome, be my boyfriend. Handsome, let's get married. Handsome, how if you become my little lover I will give you $10,000 every month. Don't listen to this woman. If you want to be my man, you can do everything you want on my body. Words like this came out of the crowd of women. Yachen was quite confused because he had never faced a situation like this. Yachen wanted to leave this place immediately, but the escape route was blocked by a crowd of women. Yachen finally jumped over the crowd. He immediately headed for the exit. He's run away. Chase him, don't let him escape. Let's chase, I want him to be my husband. The crowd agreed to chase after Yachen. Today was truly a strange day for Yachen. How the women could be like that, whether they were possessed by an evil spirit or something. Yachen finally stopped at an intersection. A few moments later the sound of the footsteps of the crowd could be heard behind. When Yachen looked back, it turned out that the crowd of women were still chasing him, so Yachen ran again. Yachen entered into an old type of Chinese clothing store. He hid in a corner and used a barrier so he wouldn't be found. It turned out that these women did not want to give up. Some of them even went into every shop and alley to look for Yachen. After searching in all angles and not finding Yachen, some women finally wanted to leave. Chapter 16, Zileo Bracelet. Journey to become a true god. Yachen detected around where he was. Knowing the women had really left, Yachen finally came out of hiding. Yachen had no idea that being handsome could be very troublesome. The biggest reason for Yachen's change was because he learned the King's Heart technique. Yachen failed to buy clothes. If it continued like this, it would be troublesome every step. Even though Yachen needed yin, a woman, it didn't mean that Yachen would fuck every woman he met. The King's Heart technique is a dual cultivation technique. Women who have done dual cultivation with Yachen will also get quite extraordinary benefits. Not only can it increase its cultivation base, women who do dual cultivation with Yachen can become much prettier and gentler. If this is known by a woman, there will be more and more women chasing after Yachen. Every woman wants to be beautiful. Even the goddess in the god realm is no exception. Moreover, a mortal woman on earth, it is an irresistible temptation. I forgot to explain technique King's Heart to the readers. I hope a little explanation I can you understand. Yachen had already decided to hide his face. Yachen would make a leather mask to change his face like before Yachen started the path of cultivation. But first Yachen wanted to buy a suit that suited him. Looking around this shop, he saw the old type of clothes that are rarely glimpsed by young people in the current era. But this was really suitable to hide Yachen's appearance. Yachen took clothes and a few other items. He went to the dressing room to wear them. When Yachen came out, he was wearing a black shirt, round black sunglasses and wearing a hat. Yachen's hair that was long before now had been cut short. Yachen cut his hair with only a knife. Yachen's skill didn't need to be questioned, because wearing the ancient clothes, Yachen's appearance today was very strange. Yachen went to the cashier to pay for the items he had used. Uncle, how much are these items? The uncle saw the clothes worn by Yachen and also the additional items. Total all the items you were wearing $50. Yachen handed over $50 to the shop owner's uncle. This is the money. After paying Yachen out of the store, on the road there were some people who looked at Yachen because of his slightly strange appearance. But after that they started ignoring him. Looks like this works. Yachen continued walking while thinking about how to make money. In front of Yachen there were two men who were talking about something that caught Yachen's attention. Hey, do you want to go to the Antiques Festival or not? What's good? Only parents who like things like that. You think only parents who were there? I heard a lot of beautiful girls from rich families also come there to accompany their parents or grandparents to see things. Why did not you say from earlier? Let's go there. The antique festival happened to be a coincidence that I could sell some of the items I had there. Yachen followed the two men to find the place where the antiques festival was located. After following for a few minutes, Ye Chen arrived at the place for the antiques festival. He saw a lot of stalls selling various antiques. In this country, a business like this is very profitable. Even some fraudsters also take part in this business. Here a lot of counterfeit goods are sold by merchants. Ye Chen can see only in one view that the goods here are fake. There were several stalls that tried to offer spiritual objects at very high prices. Ye Chen had come here to sell an item that he had. This item was a bracelet that could neutralize poisons in the body, accelerate all blood circulation and could speed healing. This bracelet was made by Ye Chen when he was tired of practicing. This could be categorized as a second-level spiritual tool. The price shouldn't be too low. Ye Chen named it the Zileo bracelet. Ye Chen set up a kiosk that was quite simple with a piece of cloth for its base. Let's buy a Zileo bracelet that can neutralize toxins in the body, accelerate all blood circulation and can even speed up the regeneration of damaged organs. Ye Chen tries to offer the Zileo bracelet. How much is the bracelet? A 40-year-old man tried to raise the price. This uncle is very cheap. It costs only $100,000, answered Ye Chen. What? Did your head just hit the wall of the bracelet like this? It costs $100,000. Uncle's tone is a bit insulting. Uncle, it's cheap enough. I've given you as much as 90% discount. Do not look at the shape of the effect of this bracelet is very extraordinary. Healthy price is very expensive. If uncle does not buy it will definitely regret for life. Ye Chen tried to convince this buyer. Huh, are you saying the price of this bracelet is 1 million? If you want to deceive this old man you have to be smarter. The uncle finally left while cursing Ye Chen with unpleasant words. Ye Chen sighed as it seemed quite difficult to convince the people who were here. If this is in the world of cultivators, this thing must be very expensive. Unfortunately, it is on Earth that few people believe it exists. Magical objects like this. Ye Chen kept trying to offer the Zileo bracelet. Every time anyone wanted to buy it and Ye Chen opened the price, they would immediately insult Ye Chen and leave. To make this one bracelet not easy, Ye Chen failed several times, which made him lose some ingredients and cores from magic beasts. It's been almost 2 hours but no one wants to buy his bracelet, seeing that it's impossible to sell it here. Ye Chen decided to pack and leave this place. When Ye Chen was packing, someone talked to him. Are you still selling this bracelet? Ye Chen looked up and saw a beautiful woman with long straight hair and a body that had developed very well. This woman was wearing a one-piece dress with a branded bag on her arm. This woman's beauty was almost comparable to the Sumensin Ye Chen had met, even though this woman was slightly defeated on the part of the 2 mountain peaks. But it was still big enough if you wanted to bury your face in the gap to this woman's 2 mountains. Chapter 17, Business Queen Lu Yu. Journey to become a true god. Ye Chen, oh of course I still sell it. I'm interested in this bracelet, so how much is it? Ask a beautiful woman. It costs $100,000. Ye Chen began to mention the price of the bracelet and mentioned its usefulness. Does this really work as you said just now? Beautiful woman was a little hesitant with the words Ye Chen said. Of course, if I lie then I am willing to be struck by lightning 1,000 times. Ye Chen took an oath to convince a beautiful woman who wanted to buy her bracelet. Alright, I'll take this bracelet. This woman is actually still hesitant to buy, but somehow her intuition says to buy this bracelet. Women's intuition is very strong, that's why beautiful women prefer to trust their intuition. During this time has the opportunity to cure my cold. It does not matter. This beautiful woman's grandmother has been ill for years and doctors say her grandmother's liver is damaged and her grandmother's body condition is getting worse every day. Need to know that the liver functions to neutralize all poisons in the body, and if it is damaged then poisons will accumulate in the body and the person can die. Of course this Zileo bracelet can heal the hearts of grandmothers of beautiful women, even though the process may not be instant and takes time. Beautiful woman took a stack of $100 from her bag intending to pay for Zileo's bracelet. Ye Chen also took the bracelet and wanted to hand it over to the beautiful woman. When the handover would do, a hand suddenly blocking Ye Chen and the beautiful woman. A young man in a blue suit suddenly stood next to a beautiful woman. How can you believe in this person? This young man obstructed this beautiful woman to buy Ye Chen's bracelet. This is not your business, and do not call me with a disgusting name that you and I have nothing to do. Beautiful woman angry with the young man in the blue suit. Your is also for your own good. How can I let you be deceived by someone like this? The blue-eyed young man looked at Ye Chen with a provoking look. Mr. Bai, I remind you, don't call my name like that again. You are not who I am and this is not your business. Anyway, why do you always try to interfere in all my business? I do not reprimand you because I give a face to your father, but if you keep doing things like don't blame me if I slap you, said you woman, looking at the man in a blue suit. The name of the young man in the blue suit turned out to be Bai San. Well, I understand Lu Yu, but why do you want to buy this fake item? You are a smart business queen, but today you are very stupid to be fooled by this con artist. Ask Bai San. What did you just say? You said that I was stupid. Lu Yu's gaze grew cold and Lu Yu was getting angry. Damn, I misspoke, Bai San said in his heart. Bai San was one of the pursuers of Lu Yu. His father was the vice chairman of the Lu Group, who was also a confidant of Lu Yu's grandmother. In recent months Bai San had tried various methods to please Lu Yu, but unfortunately Lu Yu didn't see it at all. Just look at you, Lu Yu. If my father's plan works, then I will make sure you will crawl under my feet. Bai San spoke in his heart. Bai San, sorry Lu Yu, I was just wrong, please don't be angry. Ye Chen, who heard the conversation, the two of them began to understand who this woman was. Lu Yu is the owner of the Lu Group, which has many companies that move in various sectors. Even Ye Chen Juga often uses goods belonging to the Lu Group, so Ye Chen also knows how strong the Lu Group is in this city. Lu Group's stock market reached hundreds of billions of dollars. If Ye Chen knew beforehand, Ye Chen would have raised the price of this bracelet several times. For Lu Yu, $100,000 was only like $100. Lu Yu looked away and started ignoring Bai San. Bai San was very angry. Bai San could not vent anger towards Lu Yu, because after all Lu Yu was still his father's boss. If Bai San did something strange to Lu Yu, then his father's career and secret plan will be destroyed. Bai San could only take it out on Ye Chen. Bai San pulled Ye Chen's collar, who was sitting on the ground. Fraudster, you know who you are trying to fool. It is this young lady, master-like. You see, because you are Lu Yu angry at me. If you say that you are a deceiver, so I will let you remain in this city. But if you refuse, then I will make sure you will not be able to stay in this city. Bai San spoke with Ye Chen in a voice that was not large so that only Ye Chen could hear it. Who do you call a fraud? The items I sell are all genuine, Ye Chen said. Bai San, do you think I did not hear what you were promoting earlier? How could such items exist in this world? The items you said earlier only existed in films only. Well, it's up to you whether you want to believe it or not. That's no problem, Ye Chen said ignorantly. So you dare to refuse my orders? Good. Bai San then raised his fist, getting ready to hit Ye Chen's face. Lu Yu, who was standing behind Bai San, tried to stop, but it was too late. Ye Chen didn't even avoid it and remained seated like before. Bam! A thumping sound was heard. Lu Yu thought that Ye Chen would be hurt, but Lu Yu saw that Bai San was holding the hand he used to beat Ye Chen in pain. Damn, it hurts. Your skin is made of really hard, Bai San protested. Of course, Ye Chen's physical body was so strong that maybe Bai San could hurt him. For Ye Chen Pukalan, Bai San was not felt at all. It turned out that Bai San did not give up. He used his hard shoes to kick Ye Chen. This time Ye Chen stood up. He immediately grabbed the collar of Bai San's suit and lifted him up into the air very easily. Bai San didn't think that Ye Chen was really very tall. Bai San was only 168 centimeters tall, while Ye Chen was 182 centimeters. Because Ye Chen had sat down, Bai San hadn't noticed at all. Ye Chen, looks like you still haven't bled too, Pa? Pa? A slap sound very crispy in the ears of many people. You dare to hit me, I will definitely kill you, Pa. Pa, the sound of a slap sounded again. You are still brave. You know I am the brother of the leader of the Red Wolf, who is the biggest gang in this city. If I tell him, then you will definitely be removed from this city. Pa. Pa. Again a slap sound was heard. But Bai San did not give up and continued to threaten Ye Chen. Pa. 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 The sound of a slap is constantly being heard. I'm sorry, I'm wrong, please spare me. Bai San now begging. Both cheeks burn. His face almost looks like an ass pig. Be good. If you still dare to provoke me, then the next is not your face that I hit, but I will knock your teeth out, Ye Chen warned Bai San. Ye Chen then threw Bai San a few meters. Bai San didn't dare to stay any longer. He hurried away. Just look, I'll find Brother Wolf and ask him to get rid of you from this world, Bai San only dared to say in his heart because fear Ye Chen would hit him again. Ye Chen turned his head and looked at Lu Yu. Terzium at him. Ye Chen, oh Miss Lu, sorry to hit your friend. Lu Yu, he is not my friend and I'm thankful because you got rid of him. That person bothered me. If you don't like it, why don't you send him away directly? Ye Chen asked. His father is the vice chairman of my company. Actually, I want to evict this father and son, but Bai San's father apparently has many connections from shareholders because that is difficult to get rid of. Oh, I understand. Then what about our business? Do you still want to buy it? Ye Chen asked. Lu Yu, of course. Lu Yu handed over a stack of $100 to Ye Chen. After receiving the money and confirming that this was the real money, Ye Chen gave the bracelet to Lu Yu. Ye Chen, thank you for doing business. Same. If I excuse myself first, there are things I have to do. Lu Yu then walked away. After a few steps she turned. Oh yeah, I don't know your name yet. My name is Ye Chen. Ye Chen did not hide his real name to Lu Yu. Ye Chen, well, I will remember that name well. My name is Lu Yu. If you need help, don't hesitate to come to me. I am the owner of the Lu Company and you can find me there. After saying that, Lu Yu walked away and disappeared at among the crowd of people. Ye Chen didn't understand Lu Yu's thoughts. He thought this woman's mind was very complicated. How could she promise something to someone she just met? Ye Chen prepared to leave here. Chapter 18, Looking for Gold in a Rubbish Heap. Journey to Become a True God. A group of people who had tattoos came to Ye Chen. These people were carrying pipes and wooden beaters. There are a total of 6 people, one of whom is in the front row with hair color in the blonde cat. Big brother seems to be the trait of this person, similar said by the boss of the wolf. A young man said to the person at the very front. Ye Chen, what do you want from me? Of course we came here to hit you, said the blonde man. Ye Chen, I don't know you guys and have never had a problem with you guys. Ye Chen didn't remember dealing with people from the underworld before. Ha 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 ha, did you really forget that you just hit our boss's brother and you're still asking what the problem is? Isn't that a joke? Said the blonde man laughing at Ye Chen. Huh, it turns out Bai San, just see, if I see you again then I'll make sure to knock out all your teeth. Ye Chen had been merciful before but did not think that Bai San still wanted to look for trouble with him. Ye Chen was actually lazy to deal with these barking dogs. Ye Chen took a spell paper from his storage ring and threw it towards the 5 people behind the blonde man. What are you waiting for? Hurry up and hit him, the blonde-haired man ordered the men behind to beat Ye Chen. Good boss. The punks immediately lifted iron pipes and wooden sticks. They rushed forward. The people at the exhibition began to swarm and watch what happened next. Some people felt sorry for Ye Chen's misfortune. Those in this city definitely know who Punk Punk is. They are members of the underground gang named the Red Wolf, which is one of the 3 largest underground gangs in the city. Ah! A scream of pain could be heard, but this didn't belong to Ye Chen. This belonged to the blonde-haired man. What are you doing? Why are you hitting me? My face. The blonde-haired man was beaten by his own men. He was beaten with iron pipes and wooden sticks. The onlookers who saw this, their jaws fell to the ground. Their brains could not process what was happening right now. The punk who should have hit Ye Chen instead hit the person who gave the order to them. Ye Chen was delighted to see this. The spell paper that Ye Chen threw could create an illusion according to the wishes of his users. The illusion that Ye Chen wanted was to make a blonde-haired man himself. Therefore the 5 punks saw the blonde-haired man as himself. The effect of the illusion spell paper was only for a moment. Ye Chen immediately tidied up his items, leaving this place unnoticed by those around. Feel this, brother. Bang! You dare to provoke our boss, feel this in the delusion of the punks. They were beating Ye Chen, they didn't know that what they were beating was the blonde man. The blonde-haired man kept screaming in pain. His face appeared with many bumps and bleeding everywhere. The face of the blonde man almost could not be recognized anymore. Finally, after 5 minutes the effect of the paper spells ended. The 5 punks immediately realized, a boss, how could you be here? Where that person? Asked the one who hit the blonde-haired man. The blonde-haired man is trying to stand up from the ground. Pa, 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 pa. 5 hard slaps landed on the faces of these punks. What are you, blind? You just hit me. What are you, bored for life? The blonde-haired man roared in anger. He felt his whole face was very sick, and the men who beat him even expressed like innocent people. But our boss really hit him. But how can he be changed to boss? Said one of the 5 thugs trying to explain. Pa, 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 pa. 5 slaps sounded again. Are you trying to find an excuse? I ask, how long have you followed me? How could you not get to know your own boss's face? The blonde-haired man continued to get angry with his subordinates. Boss, boss, the man we are about to hit seems to have left. The blonde-haired man finally remembered, seeing that Ye Chen had long gone. Angry blonde-haired man, the crowd that had gathered began to gossip. Damn, to save the face of the Red Wolf gang, the punk finally left the antiques exhibition site. Actually, Ye Chen did not leave the antiques exhibition. Ye Chen tried to look for some items that might be valuable here. Ye Chen started to walk around in every stall in the exhibition. Most of the items here were only rubbish that did not have high sales value. Ye Chen saw an object that made him slightly interested. Somehow Ye Chen felt that it was like calling out to him. Ye Chen went near the stall selling this item. Ye Chen took an iron that looked like a gate to hear the carving of a woman who looked like a fairy. The size of this object fits in the handlebar. Someone was interested in his belongings. The seller immediately rushed over to Ye Chen. Dear customer, can I help you? Ye Chen, how much is this thing? You do have eyes. This thing is a pretty good thing. This item was found in a cave by an adventurer. The price is not too expensive, only $5,000. The seller said, explaining this item to Ye Chen. Ye Chen did not think that this iron was very expensive. Ye Chen tried to put in his mental energy and see what was hidden inside. When Ye Chen's mental energy tried to enter in, a very strong force suddenly resisted Ye Chen's mental energy. What? Ye Chen did not think that his mental energy would be blocked by a very strong force. Ye Chen did not give up. He wanted to try again, but the result was still the same as before. Ye Chen tried to bid on this item. Isn't it too expensive or something that can't be lacking? Sorry, the price of this customer is the cheapest I can give to you, replied the seller. This seller does not seem to be invited to compromise. Okay, but I want one more item. Ye Chen saw a black token. What interested him was that the deepest layer of the black token was gold. Maybe this seller didn't notice because the black part turned out to be a crust. How about $5,000 added to this item? Ye Chen raised the black token and showed it to the seller. The seller looked at the items that were held. Ye Chen, only goods that are not very valuable. The price is not even up to $200. Well, I agree. Seeing the seller agree, Ye Chen handed over $5,000 to the seller. After completing the payment, Ye Chen left the stall. The seller did not know that the item he just sold was a very valuable item. The seller was satisfied with the money he was getting right now. After Ye Chen left the stall, Ye Chen stopped. In a quiet place, Ye Chen saw the 2 items he had just gotten. He then saw this iron-like gate that still kept a lot of mystery for himself. While for the token, Ye Chen used his strength to knock out everything. The crust that covers this token, after all the crust is gone, is a golden token that has a very nice pattern inside. Seems like this can be sold at a high price. I will save it first and sell it if I don't have any more money. Ye Chen put the 2 items into a storage ring. Strangely, iron-like gate refused to enter the storage ring. Because it could be put into a storage ring, Ye Chen could only sigh. He put an iron gate into his shirt. Ye Chen wanted to find a hotel to stay tonight. Chapter 19, Back to School. Journey to become a true god. Lu Yu, the woman who bought the Zileo bracelet from Ye Chen, is currently driving her car to the hospital where her grandmother is being treated. Lu Yu still hoped that a miracle could happen. Lu Yu finally arrived at the parking lot of the hospital. The Hua Hospital was the #1 hospital in this city. This hospital had the most reliable equipment and staff. Lu Yu rushed to the ward where her grandmother was being treated. When he arrived at the ward, an old woman was lying in bed. This old woman was wearing an oxygen hose to breathe. Her condition was currently in a coma. Seeing the situation of his grandmother who like this, Lu Yu wanted to cry. Lu Yu approached his grandmother. "Grandma, get well soon so I can spend time with you again." Lu Yu held one of the grandmother's hands and rubbed it. Lu Yu took Zileo's bracelet and put it on her grandmother's wrist. Lu Yu hoped that a miracle could happen. After waiting for quite a long time, Lu Yu was disappointed that Zileo's bracelet did not seem to cure her grandmother. Lu Yu was a little disappointed because it turned out she had been tricked. Zileo's bracelet was working and cleaning the poison in Lu Yu's grandmother's body. It took time for Lu Yu's grandmother to recover, without knowing that Lu Yu was sleeping near her grandmother's bed. Time passed so quickly. Lu Yu felt a hand stroking her hair. Lu Yu opened her eyes. When Lu Yu opened her eyes, she saw the grandmother who should have been in a coma to wake up. Lu Yu thought that she was dreaming. Lu Yu pinched her cheek. Lu Yu felt sick, so this must be the reality. "You, how can you sleep here?" said Lu Yu's grandmother. "Grandma, you wake up. How are you feeling? Do you feel something uncomfortable in your body?" Lu Yu began to ask her grandmother's condition. "I already feel somewhat better, even my body feels fresher and lighter than before," said grandmother Lu Yu, trying to move some parts of her body. "Don't move your grandmother first. I'll call the doctor to see your condition." Lu Yu immediately rushed to call the doctor. Finally the doctor arrived and examined her grandmother's condition. "Doctor, how is my grandmother's condition?" asked Lu Yu. "Heart rate and body temperature are normal, but we have to wait check-up tomorrow morning to find out the results. For now the patient should be well rested." After giving the examination, the doctor left the ward. Lu Yu is quite happy to see her grandmother is fine. "Grandmother, you heard what the doctor said. You have to rest a lot." Lu Yu pulled the blanket and covered her grandmother's body. Lu Yu began to look at the bracelet on her grandmother's wrist. It seems like Ye Chen did not fool her. Lu Yu hoped that the checkup results tomorrow would be good. The sun shone through the window. Ye Chen finally woke up from his bed. He had not slept in this comfortable place for a long time, maybe because the hotel had quite good and comfortable facilities. Today Ye Chen intends to go to school. At school maybe Ye Chen can get yin from the virgin ladies. Actually, yin or a yin is only released by virgin women. For women who are not virgins, yin can be obtained by having sex. For dual cultivation, the first time will get the most benefits. The second and third benefits that cannot get better than the first time. First of all, Ye Chen wore a human skin mask that had been adapted with his old face. This was to avoid things like yesterday. Ye Chen left for school and tried to meet his homeroom teacher. When he arrived at Hexing School, Ye Chen saw many school friends who had started arriving. It had been a year and a half since Ye Chen had seen such a scene. Ye Chen went into the room where the homeroom teacher was. Ye Chen knocked on the inn door. A voice from inside the room invited Ye Chen to enter. Ye Chen went straight inside. Ye Chen's homeroom teacher is currently sitting and driving a few documents. Seeing who entered was Ye Chen, then the homeroom teacher Ye Chen immediately stood up from his chair. "Ye Chen, is you? You still dare to come back after not attending class for more than a month?" Ye Chen's homeroom teacher seemed quite angry when he saw Ye Chen coming. "Sorry teacher, I had some personal problems at the time, so I couldn't go back to the city for a few months," Ye Chen tried to explain. "Don't try to find any excuses, you're still the one," the homeroom teacher scolded Ye Chen. After a while the homeroom teacher Ye Chen sighed. "There is no point in scolding you, it's all up to the dean whether to expel you or not." "What homeroom teacher should I do now?" Ye Chen asked. "What's more, of course, go to the dean room right now. Look what the dean has decided for you," the homeroom teacher said to Ye Chen. Ye Chen immediately went to the dean room. Ye Chen knocked on the door. The dean invited Ye Chen to enter. "Who asked the old dean. I'm Ye Chen, a student in Class B, second year. Oh, so you are a student who is said to be absent from school for more than 1 month. You know that this school has rules, and you have broken those rules, the dean told Ye Chen. Ye Chen, will I be expelled from school? Ye Chen doesn't really care about the school. If he gets kicked out, Ye Chen just needs to find another school that wants to accept him. Dean, I will not kick you out, but from now on you will be transferred to Class J. Ye Chen, Class J. That class is where the troubled children are in our school, the old dean explained to Ye Chen. From now on you will move to that class, you can go directly to Class J right now, the dean told Ye Chen to go. After leaving Ye Chen's dean room to immediately go to Class J, when he reached the door of Class J, Ye Chen heard a very noisy voice from inside the classroom. Ye Chen didn't enter right away because someone put the bucket above the door. If the door was opened by someone, then the bucket would definitely hit the person who opened the door. Looks like this trap wasn't set up for Ye Chen. Sure enough, a boy walked closer to the entrance of the class. This man exuded a grim aura. When this boy opened Ye Chen's door, immediately restraining the young man's shoulders so that he would not go any further again. Bure. Dang, the sound of water falling followed by ember BC was heard. When someone opens the door of the class, all the eyes of the students in the class aim at the entrance of the class. Some want to see a good performance, but seeing the trap they make, they are not disappointed. Soon some boys take mops and clean the dirty floor. It seems the culprit is these people. The floor that has been dirty soon returns clean. The boy with a gloomy aura didn't even thank Ye Chen and went straight to his seat. He just shook his head. Ye Chen looked for a seat for himself. Chapter 20, Zhao Yanyan. Journey to become a true god. Ye Chen looked around the classroom to find an empty bench. Finally he saw at the very back there was an empty bench. Ye Chen decided to sit there. Arriving there, Ye Chen took a chair and sat on it. Because Ye Chen wore a human skin mask, he was no longer the spotlight of many people. Hey classmate, what, you just transferred here? The man in front of Ye Chen turned around and asked Ye Chen. Yes, from today I will be transferred to this class, Ye Chen answered. Oh, so that's what my name is, Zhang Liao. You may call me Zhang Liao. Zhang Liao extended his hand and wanted to shake hands with Ye Chen. Ye Chen, my name is Ye Chen, nice to meet you. Ye Chen then shook Zhang Liao's hand. Zhang Liao, hey Ye Chen, if I were you, I would move out of that seat immediately. Why? Ye Chen asked. It is because, before Zhang Liao finished speaking, the classroom door opened again. Beautiful woman in the class. This woman is at least 17 or 18 years old. Her beautiful face can attract all the men who see her. This woman's height is 165 centimeters. Because she wears a knee-length skirt that is smoothly seen clearly by Ye Chen. This woman has hair long straight. She wore the superior butterfly ribbon on the right side. Her newly developing body was wrapped in a white shirt that looked very beautiful and pure. When the beautiful woman walked, the whole view of the men in the class was only focused on her. The beautiful woman walked towards Ye Chen and sat right beside Ye Chen. Ye Chen Yang saw that this was quite enthusiastic. Ye Chen had no idea that the first day he would transfer class would be directly at the table with a girl as beautiful as this. Ye Chen didn't even think that the most troubled class in fact had a very beautiful woman. When this woman sat down, the woman looked at Ye Chen with a very strange look. Ye Chen was a man, so how could Ye Chen introduce himself first? Hello, my classmate, my name is Ye Chen, may I get to know you? Ye Chen held out his hand to a beautiful woman. Hello, I'm Zhao Yanyan. Nice to meet you. Zhao Yanyan shook Ye Chen's hand and threw a smile at Ye Chen. Zhao Yanyan, besides beauty, was also always friendly to everyone. That's why Zhao Yanyan could be very popular. Ye Chen, feeling Zhao Yanyan's hand, was very gentle. When Zhao Yanyan shook hands with Ye Chen, she felt like she was stung by a small electric current. She hurriedly took her hands off Ye Chen. Zhao Yanyan's face suddenly turned red. As Zhao Yanyan pulled her hand too fast, Ye Chen felt a little lost. After introducing himself, Zhao Yanyan took the book from her bag and started reading it. Ye Chen wanted to start the conversation but saw Zhao Yanyan learning. Ye Chen undid his intentions. Ye Chen did not waste time and absorbed the air. yin, from Zhao Yanyan. Ye Chen continued to focus on absorbing the energy, yin, from Zhao Yanyan. The teacher unconsciously entered the class. The morning class was mathematics. The teacher who taught was a middle-aged male. The teacher on the podium continued to explain mathematics, but all students, no one wants to pay attention. All the students in the class are too cool with their own world. Some are gossiping, some are sleeping, some are playing cell phones. What is strange is the teacher on the podium does not dare to reprimand or scold these students. This is Class J, class filled with students who have low academic grades and also students who have problems. Everything in this class seems uninterested with the lesson. The reason the school does not voice them out is that the average person in this class, parents, they are rich people or officials. That's why schools will not do difficult things as long as they do not cause problems that are serious enough for schools. On the other hand, Ye Chen saw Zhao Yanyan just pay attention to the lesson that was conveyed by the teacher on the podium. Ye Chen could only ask Tanya from wherever Zhao Yanyan was a girl who liked to learn how it might be that Zhao Yanyan was in a class like this. Ye Chen couldn't possibly ask it directly because the two of them had only known each other for a short time. Ye Chen didn't want to think about it anymore. Ye Chen took the math book from his bag and began to study it. Ye Chen found it very easy to memorize the mathematical formulas in the book. Because Ye Chen was now a cultivator, Ye Chen could more easily remember everything very easily. Ye Chen flipped through the pages quickly. Everything on the page was clearly stored in Ye Chen's memory. After finishing with the math book, Ye Chen continued with the other textbooks. Zhao Yanyan, who was next to Ye Chen, sometimes stole glances at Ye Chen. The thing Ye Chen did was quite strange. Ye Chen flipped the page quickly. Zhao Yanyan felt Ye Chen was cool in his own world, different from every male student. Men who sat at the table with her, they always looked at Zhao Yanyan with a wanting gaze that made Zhao Yanyan uncomfortable. But Ye Chen, after Ye Chen's introduction, was like not interested in her, didn't even look at her in the slightest. For some reason, Zhao Yanyan was annoyed in her heart. Zhao Yanyan was a woman who from the young age got the focus of public attention. She had quite a lot of male pursuers and almost all of them were the second generation of rich people. Everyone who chased after her was always ignored. Now she saw Ye Chen ignored her. Zhao Yanyan was annoyed. Until the end of class hours, Ye Chen was still cool to study the existing book. Ye Chen also did not forget to absorb the air, yin, from Zhao Yanyan. It was a break time. Many students headed to the canteen to buy lunch. Ye Chen also intended to go there. Hey, wait, Ye Chen, where are you going? Asked Zhang Liao. Ye Chen to the school canteen. I joined Zhang Liao, then moved from his seat and went to the cafeteria with Ye Chen. Zhao Yanyan, who saw Ye Chen leaving, was quite annoyed. Even Ye Chen did not intend to invite her. During recess like this, many men would take Zhao Yanyan to go to the canteen, but always rejected by her. Zhao Yanyan, why do I have to think about things like that? After all, he is nobody to me. Zhao Yanyan then went to the school canteen. Because Class J was in the top building, Ye Chen and Zhang Liao had to go down the stairs first to get to the canteen. Ye Chen saw 8 students trying to carry a large piano up the stairs to the upper floor. These people seemed to be very difficult when carrying the piano up the stairs. When Zhang Liao arrived at the first floor, Zhang Liao suddenly felt like urinating. Ye Chen, wait a minute, I want to go to the toilet for a while. Zhang Liao rushed to the restroom behind the building. Ye Chen could only wait for Zhang Liao next to the steps. When Ye Chen looked at the steps, Ye Chen saw Zhao Yanyan also descending towards the bottom. The way to go down, Zhao Yanyan, is quite elegant. Be careful, get out of the way. A voice of panic screams sounded from above, trying to warn the people below. Ye Chen saw the great piano sliding down the stairs to the bottom. It seemed like the person who brought it up lost the grip that made the piano come loose and slide down. Zhao Yanyan, who was in the middle of the confused staircase where she had to run now, saw that there was no way to run away. Zhao Yanyan closed her eyes and accepted her destiny. Ye Chen immediately ran quickly to the back of Zhao Yanyan, one hand holding Zhao Yanyan's waist and hugging her, the other hand holding piano. Bang! The sound of the crash was heard. Ye Chen didn't want to expose his strength, so Ye Chen pretended to bounce backwards to fall to the floor. Ye Chen made an effort to keep Zhao Yunyan from getting hurt in the process. All the screams of the students who saw the incident were heard. The weight of the piano was almost hundreds of kilos, and moreover it was sliding with a fast speed. The person who was hit by this piano would definitely be badly injured or even die. Ye Chen saw Zhao Yunyang, who was in his arms, still closed her eyes and her whole body shook. Great Hey, wake up! Zhao Yunyan, who heard this voice, immediately opened her eyes. When Zhao Yunyan opened her eyes, she saw Ye Chen's face, especially now that she was being hugged by Ye Chen. Zhao Yunyan immediately freed herself from Ye Chen's embrace and stood up. Zhao Yunyan finally understood Ye Chen had saved her. If it wasn't for Ye Chen holding the sliding piano, maybe Zhao Yunyan would be severely injured or even die. Zhao Yunyan was quite touched by what Ye Chen was doing. Ye Chen was even willing to save someone he had just met. If it was someone else, then he might prefer to save themselves, rather than save herself. Ye Chen rose from the floor. Zhao Yunyan slightly helped Ye Chen to get up from the floor. Ye Chen, you're fine? Zhao Yunyan asked. It's okay if it's just a slight muscle spasm. You don't need to worry. This kind of thing could possibly hurt Ye Chen, who is a great cultivator. If there wasn't anyone around here, Ye Chen would definitely choose to use his strength to destroy the piano, but Ye Chen was trying not to expose his strength as much as possible. Maybe we should go to the infirmary to check your condition. Zhao Yunyan, still worried about Ye Chen's current situation. How could someone who just hit a piano hit hundreds of pounds and bounce off just fine? Ye Chen, no need, I'm really good. But Zhao Yunyan was still worried that Ye Chen had a deep wound. Chapter 21, Meet Yu Ting again. Journey to become a true god. What's wrong with Chen Chen? Zhang Liao finally finished urinating. It's okay, let's go to the canteen. Ye Chen invited Zhang Liao to go to the canteen. Worried Zhao Yunyan soon followed behind Ye Chen. When Ye Chen left, 8 people who lifted the piano down and saw that there were no casualties in this incident. The piano was somewhat damaged because it collided with Ye Chen's elbow. Hey, it's your fault. Why don't you hold it properly? Huh, why is it my fault that this skinny one is? Because he has no energy at all, so the piano feels heavy. Obviously you are the one who let go of your memories while throwing a mistake at me. These 8 people blame each other. Ye Chen and Zhang Liao finally arrived at the school canteen. When they arrived, the queue was long enough. Ye Chen, what do you want me to get you? Just sit and wait at the dining table, Zhang Liao said. Ye Chen said some of the menus he wanted and then handed the money to Zhang Liao. Ye Chen looked for a place to sit waiting for Zhang Liao. Since coming to Earth, Ye Chen had enjoyed a relaxed life, although sometimes the problems that came to him were only trivial matters. Ye Chen knew that this kind of life would not be able to last forever. As the heir of Sage God, Ye Chen understood if he did not immediately become strong, then many strong people would aim for him. Because of that, Ye Chen was always careful not to expose his strength to people who were not Ye Chen believes. 2 familiar people crossed Ye Chen's eyes. Of course this was Ye Chen's ex-girlfriend and the affair. After not seeing Yu Ting for a long time, it seems that Yu Ting has changed. Yu Ting looked very proud. With this, Ye Chen had to say that the cute girl Ye Chen had known was no more. In just a few months, Yu Ting's people had been transformed. Very much. This did not make Ye Chen interested but instead disgusted him. Oh, Ye Chen hasn't seen you in a long time. Yu Ting's tone of voice was slightly insulting. After gathering in a circle of rich people, the way of thinking of Yu Ting was a little different. In his eyes, people like Ye Chen were just rubbish. Ye Chen, oh Yu Ting, long time no see, you look different now. Of course I'm getting more and more beautiful. Now my new boyfriend always gives me everything I want. Luxury clothes, luxury bags, luxury cosmetics, even best-class spa treatments. Yu Ting flaunted everything that Ye Chen could not give to her. Is she too confident when I compliment beauty? Her appearance is now disgusting, Ye Chen said in his heart. Ting Ting, who is this guy? Yu Ting's boyfriend who was beside asked. Brother who? He is a person who we met a month ago while shopping at the mall. He is my ex-boyfriend, said Yu Ting. Oh, Huji, Where might you remember poor people like Ye Chen? For him, Ye Chen is just rubbish and does not deserve to be noticed. Ha 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 Ye Chen, I see that you are still alone, have you not found a new girlfriend? Yu Ting asked, but questions like this are very insulting for Ye Chen. Yes indeed I am still alone now. What is the problem for you? Said Ye Chen. I knew how it would be possible for a woman to be with a poor man like you. Again Yu Ting teased about poor Ye Chen. If it was Ye Chen, he would have been angry with Yu Ting's words. The current Ye Chen was not the old Ye Chen. If he wanted to get the money it was like turning his palm. Yu Ting's words motivated Ye Chen that he had to get as much money as fast, and made Yu Ting regret for leaving him. Haha, Ting Ting, you're joking. Maybe there are women who want to be girlfriends from homeless people. They definitely prefer rich men like me. Hu Ji tried to brag himself in front of Ye Chen. Huh, you think I cannot get a woman who is more beautiful than Yu Ting? You will see. Ye Chen said sarcastically. We will wait. If you can get a woman who is better than me then I will eat dirt in public, said Yu Ting, laughing. A beautiful woman suddenly came and hugged Ye Chen's right arm. Ye Chen, have you been waiting for a long time? Beautiful woman looks very intimate with Ye Chen. This woman was Zhao Yanyan, who followed Ye Chen out of fear. With Ye Chen's wound, when Ye Chen sat there were two people approaching Ye Chen. They seemed to be arguing. Zhao Yanyan wanted to know what they were talking about. Zhao Yanyan's curiosity was very strong. Zhao Yanyan approached and eavesdropped on Ye Chen and Yu Ting's conversation. Knowing that Yu Ting was Ye Chen's ex-girlfriend, Zhao Yanyan was surprised, especially knowing that Yu Ting left Ye Chen only because Ye Chen was poor, which made Zhao Yanyan angry in her heart. For Zhao Yanyan, Ye Chen was thousands of times better than Hu Ji. Even though Ye Chen was not rich, at least Ye Chen had the kindness, even willing to sacrifice himself to save her. Zhao Yanyan rushed towards Ye Chen and wanted to help him. Ye Chen was quite confused why Zhao Yanyan suddenly hugged his arm. Who are you? Asked Yu Ting curiously. Yu Ting had to admit that Zhao Yanyan was far more beautiful than her. Hu Ji knows who Zhao Yanyan, who is the flower school in the second year. Hu Ji also once pursued Zhao Yanyan. Unfortunately he was rejected by Zhao Yanyan. Introduce. I'm Ye Chen's girlfriend Zhao Yanyan. Zhao Yanyan introduced herself to Yu Ting. Yu Ting and Hu Ji were also struck by lightning. The person they just insulted had a very beautiful girlfriend instead of being slapped in the face directly. Zhao Yanyan said spoiledly to Ye Chen, Ye Chen, let's look for food outside of school. I feel uncomfortable here. Of course Ye Chen understood what Zhao Yanyan was doing. Ye Chen followed the drama that Zhao Yanyan wanted to do. Good Yanyan. Ye Chen then left with Zhao Yanyan and left Yu Ting and also Hu Ji. While walking Ye Chen felt a piercing gaze from the surrounding, especially the men. They looked at Ye Chen very fiercely. These were secret admirers of Zhao Yanyan. Looks like I've become an enemy of the public now, Ye Chen said in his heart. Before he reached the door of the canteen, Ye Chen turned around. Hey, I heard someone wanted to eat some dirt in public, now you can do it. Ye Chen burst out laughing and left the canteen with Zhao Yanyan. Yu Ting and also Hu Ji did not have faces anymore, so they were both of them were lied to by Ye Chen. They hurriedly left the canteen as fast as they could, afraid that the people here would force them both to eat poop. Chapter 22, Express Feelings. Journey to become a true god. Ye Chen and Zhao Yanyan went to the school gate. Hey Zhao Yanyan, why did you suddenly help me earlier? Asked Ye Chen. I just don't like you being treated like that by that person, said Zhao Yanyan. Ha 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 ha, Ye Chen laughed. Why are you laughing instead? Zhao Yanyan asked, confused. Ye Chen, well, I didn't expect that a girl like you would care about me. Hearing Ye Chen's words, Zhao Yanyan's face turned red. That's because you are the savior of this young woman. I also have to repay your kindness. Zhao Yanyan blushed slightly. Ye Chen, even though I ordered food earlier. Forget the food, come with me to go to the seafood restaurant. Just consider this a reward for helping me. Zhao Yanyan pulled Ye Chen to the seafood restaurant around here. It only took a walk about 3 minutes before the two arrived there. Zhao Yanyan, now we've arrived. Ye Chen saw that this restaurant was quite classy. Zhao Yanyan invited Ye Chen in. When the two of them entered, they were welcomed by a waiter. "Young master and young lady, you want to order an ordinary table or private room?" asked the waiter. "Zhao Yanyan, please provide a private room." Zhao Yanyan handed over the membership card to the servants. After receiving a card from Zhao Yanyan, the waiter escorted Ye Chen and also Zhao Yanyan to the private room. The private room was designed as good and as comfortable as possible for customers. The waiter handed over the menu to Ye Chen and also Zhao Yanyan. When Ye Chen opened his menu list, he was dumbfounded. The prices on this menu list averaged nearly hundreds of dollars, even the most expensive one reaching thousands of dollars. Zhao Yanyan invited her to a restaurant this expensive? "Looks like this girl's background is quite rich," Ye Chen said in his heart. Ye Chen had no idea that the price of a meal could be this expensive. Ye Chen always ate food with a price of a few dollars or tens of dollars. Even the Starbucks, which according to Ye Chen had been lavish, could not be compared to this restaurant. Even though Ye Chen was already quite happy with the $100,000 that he got from selling Zileo bracelets, but after seeing the price of rich people's food, the 100,000 money was nothing. Ye Chen had already decided to immediately get more money, otherwise how could he beat Yu Ting's boyfriend at the moment? Zhao Yanyan, seeing that Ye Chen did not immediately choose the food menu, Zhao Yanyan asked, "Why didn't you order that? I'm not too familiar with food." "So what if you choose the food for me?" Ye Chen answered. "Oh well." Zhao Yanyan then chose a few menus and addressed it to the waiter. "Then please wait a moment, the food will be delivered soon." The waiter left the room, in a private room, leaving only Zhao Yanyan and Ye Chen. Zhao Yanyan, "Hey Ye Chen, may I know why you want to save me when I will be hit by the piano earlier? Why, isn't it the duty of a hero to save beauty?" Ye Chen teased Zhao Yanyan. "Don't tease me anymore." Zhao Yanyan looked dissatisfied. In her heart, Zhao Yanyan was quite happy to hear Ye Chen's praise. "Ye Chen, you are a strange woman. Why should I ask why I help you? If someone else is sure they will do the same. Like I do. What else is Yanyan? We are top-level beauty." "Huffed, the basis of your mouth is so sweet. It must have deceived many girls with your sweet mouth." Zhao Yanyan was quite happy when Ye Chen called Yanyan. "To be honest, I only have one girlfriend. Unfortunately, after a long ceremony she betrayed me. It's sad enough to think that love will lose with money," Ye Chen said sadly. "Not every woman is like that. In this world there are women who are looking for their true love," Zhao Yanyan said to Ye Chen. Ye Chen saw that Zhao Yanyan was very beautiful and also very considerate. If only Zhao Yanyan had been his girlfriend, he would not have been very lucky. Why not just try to express my feelings? I've also liked Yanyan since I first met." Ye Chen made his determination to try to shoot Zhao Yanyan. "Yanyan, I have something to say," Ye Chen said seriously. "What is that?" asked Zhao Yanyan. Ye Chen took one of Zhao Yanyan's hands and said, "Yanyan, would you be my girlfriend?" Seeing Ye Chen suddenly state his feelings, Zhao Yanyan blushed. Zhao Yanyan also liked Ye Chen the first time they shook hands. But as a woman, how could Zhao Yanyan express feelings first? "Yes, I want to be your girlfriend," Zhao Yanyan cried happily. "Is it true?" Ye Chen asked in disbelief. Zhao Yanyan, "Yes, I also like you and I'm very happy to know you also like me. Yay, finally I have a beautiful girlfriend." Ye Chen jumped with delight. Puchi looks at Ye Chen, who now looks like a little boy, Zhao Yanyan laughing. Ye Chen then hugged Zhao Yanyan and their two eyes faced each other. "Yanyan." Yes, Zhao Yanyan also looked into Ye Chen's eyes. Ye Chen suddenly grew bolder. "May I kiss you?" Zhao Yanyan didn't speak, just nodded her head. She closed her eyes waiting for a kiss. Actually, Zhao Yanyan, who had never felt a kiss, had only read it from a book. In the book kiss it felt so good. Zhao Yanyan also wanted to try it with the person he liked. Now Zhao Yanyan has a person she likes, so why should he refuse Ye Chen's request? Ye Chen wanted to immediately kiss Zhao Yanyan. He had forgotten that at this time he was still wearing a skin mask. Ye Chen then took off the skin mask first. Ye Chen's handsome face finally looked back. If Zhao Yanyan saw Ye Chen, who now surely Zhao Yanyan would be very surprised. Zhao Yanyan waited for a kiss from Ye Chen. Ye Chen took a long time and hadn't kissed her. Zhao Yunyan opened her eyes and saw a very handsome man before her eyes. This man immediately kissed her, which made Zhao Yunyan rebel, because it was kissed. It was very pleasant and extraordinary resistance. Zhao Yunyan finally disappeared. Zhao Yunyan closed her eyes, began to enjoy it. Ye Chen got more and more brave. Ye Chen put his tongue into Zhao Yunyan's mouth. Both tongues met. Zhao Yunyan involuntarily welcomed Ye Chen's tongue. Zhao Yunyan, who had been passive, now became very active. The kiss of Ye Chen and Zhao Yunyan lasted for several minutes before the two of them panted and separated. The conscious Zhao Yunyan immediately rebelled from Ye Chen's arms. "Let go of me, you big pervert." Ye Chen was confused by Zhao Yunyan's current reaction. "Yunyan, what is this? I'm Ye Chen." "Huh, are you really Ye Chen?" Zhao Yunyan asked in disbelief. Ye Chen almost forgot that he just took off his skin mask, so face this should be foreign to Zhao Yunyan. "Yes, Yunyan is my real face. Actually, I have been wearing a skin mask so as not to cause problems." Ye Chen pointed at the leather mask on the table. Zhao Yunyan saw the thing Ye Chen showed and took it. "Ye Chen, why are you wearing this mask? In my opinion, you are better looking if you don't wear this mask," Zhao Yunyan said. "It's not that I want to use the problem. The reaction of the women is too excessive when looking at me," Ye Chen said helplessly. "What do you mean?" Zhao Yunyan asked. When Ye Chen wanted to explain further, the door opened and a female servant brought the thrust table inside. When the woman saw Ye Chen's handsome face, this woman was very excited. The maid came in and put the food on the table. Her eyes were never separated from Ye Chen. Even once in a while the maid teased Ye Chen by shaking her buttocks in front of Ye Chen. The movements of the waiter that did not escape from Zhao Yunyan's view. After the female waitress finished putting food on the table, Zhao Yunyan immediately threw her out. Seeing Zhao Yunyan angry, Ye Chen laughed and said, "Yunyan, why are you so angry with such trivial things?" "I just don't like the way the servant teased you," Zhao Yunyan said. "Let's eat. The food will be cold later." Ye Chen then opened the food cover and immediately ate it. When eating, Zhao Yunyan always sees Ye Chen. Zhao Yunyan happy for having a boyfriend who is handsome and can protect herself. Zhao Yunyan feels that she is the luckiest woman in the world. Chapter 23. Teacher Lin Ruxi. Journey to become a true god. Ye Chen and also Zhao Yunyan finally finished eating their meal. "Ye Chen, should we return to class immediately? After this is a lesson from Ruxi's sister." "I don't mean Teacher Lin." Zhao Yunyan tried to remind Ye Chen. Ye Chen did not know who Teacher Lin was. In his class, Ye Chen did not remember a teacher whose name was Lin Ruxi. "Yunyan, well, let's go back to class," Ye Chen said. Ye Chen wanted to pay the food bill. However, Zhao Yunyan was his girlfriend. It was not good to let his woman pay for the food. "Ye Chen, let me pay, it is very expensive." Zhao Yunyan tried to stop Ye Chen from paying for food. Zhao Yunyan knew that Ye Chen didn't have much money. "It's okay, Yunyan. I still have enough money to pay for this. In the future I will definitely be able to find a lot of money so that I can make you happy," Ye Chen said very seriously. Zhao Yunyan, "Yes, I believe that you will definitely become a successful person and I will definitely continue to support you at every step of your way." Zhao Yunyan supported Ye Chen. Ye Chen, who heard Zhao Yunyan's words, was very happy because Zhao Yunyan wanted to trust him. Ye Chen put on the skin mask again to avoid getting rid of unwanted problems. "Zhao Yunyan, Ye Chen, why are you wearing a leather mask? If you are more handsome if you don't wear that mask." "Yunyan, I also don't want to wear this mask. You can see the reaction from the maid. If I don't wear this mask then your boyfriend might be kidnapped by another girl," Ye Chen said helplessly. "Zhao Yunyan, you praise yourself too much." Ye Chen and also Zhao Yunyan finally arrived at class on time. When the bell rang, they both returned to their desks. Zhang Liaoyang saw Ye Chen and also Zhao Yunyan came together. He then asked, "Ye Chen, where have you been? I looked for you in every corner of the canteen, because I did not find you. The food you ordered was finally eaten." "Oh, it's okay. I just ate with Zhao Yunyan at a restaurant near the school," Ye Chen said. "What? You just ate together with one of our school flowers?" Zhang Liao could hardly believe what was heard from Ye Chen. Zhang Liao often saw several boys in class and other classes who tried to invite Zhao Yanyan to eat out, but they were always rejected by Zhao Yanyan. Ye Chen had just eaten together with Zhao Yanyan's school flowers that made him surprised. This person's luck. It was very great to be able to eat Zhao Yanyan on the first day of transferring to this class. Looks like your relationship with Zhao Yanyan is pretty good, said Zhang Liao while drinking water from a bottle. Now Zhao Yanyan is my girlfriend, so our relationship is very special. Zhang Liao, who heard this, immediately sprayed all the water he drank. What you just said? Zhao Yanyan is your girlfriend? You're not making a joke? Zhang Liao could hardly believe how on the first day Ye Chen suddenly became the boyfriend of Zhao Yanyan. Huh, you don't believe me? Yanyan explained to him, so he understood. Ye Chen said to Zhao Yanyan. Classmate Zhang, now I'm Ye Chen's girlfriend, said Zhao Yanyan. Zhao Yanyan didn't want to hide that she was Ye Chen's girlfriend. After hearing directly from Zhao Yanyan, Zhang Liao was struck by lightning. Ye Chen, you were great on the first day you moved to our class. You already got one of our school's flowers. Zhang Liao praised Ye Chen. Ye Chen only smiled at Zhang Liao. Finally, the homeroom teacher came to the podium. Ye Chen's homeroom teacher turned out to be a beauty. Yang was not inferior to Zhao Yanyan, especially in the part of her chest that had developed very well. Good afternoon everyone, my name is Lin Ruxi and I am the homeroom teacher in this class. The reason I introduce myself is because there seems to be a new transfer student in this class. Lin Ruxi looked at Ye Chen. New student, quickly introduce yourself to other classmates. Lin Ruxi asked Ye Chen to introduce himself to all the students here. Ye Chen walked and stood in front of the class. My name is Ye Chen, I'm 17 years old and I'm from XXX village, please cooperate now. After introducing himself Ye Chen briefly, he wanted to immediately return to his seat. Just like that was your introduction? Asked Lin Ruxi. Our Lin teacher isn't on a blind date. Why do you want to know me more deeply? Hong. Everyone in the class who heard Ye Chen's words laughed. Shut up, teacher. Lin Ruxi hit the table with a book and made the students who laughed became silent. Lin Ruxi did not expect that there would be more problematic students placed in her class again. You may return to your seat. Lin Ruxi told Ye Chen to sit down again. Okay everyone, take out your English books now. Lin Ruxi ordered students in the class to issue English textbooks. Strangely, the students who had previously spoken in class, gossiped, and played all suddenly became obedient, which made Ye Chen surprised. It seemed they were a little afraid of teacher Lin Ruxi. When Ye Chen was sitting, Ye Chen, Zhao Yanyan said next to his ear, Ye Chen, you are brave enough to teasing your teacher in front of the class. You are not afraid that teacher Lin's fans target you after this? What should be afraid of? If they dare to look for trouble for me, I will kick them all. Ye Chen showed his strong arms to Zhao Yanyan. Puchi, the lesson will start. We should focus. Zhao Yanyan laughed at what Ye Chen was doing. Good, my beautiful queen. Ye Chen then opened an English book. Chapter 24, Female Star Feng Shui. Journey to Become a True God. All students listened to what was explained by Lin Ruxi. Actually, these students almost no one understood Lin Ruxi's words. They were just looking for a face so as not to be scolded by Lin Ruxi. Ye Chen was quite lazy with this lesson. Ye Chen had memorized everything in the book. To deal with the boredom, Ye Chen looked at Zhao Yanyan, who was focused on hearing what Lin Ruxi said. Zhao Yanyan, who was listening to the teacher, explained that he could not focus on listening. Zhao Yanyan felt ashamed when Ye Chen looked at her. Ye Chen, don't look at me like this, it makes me embarrassed, Zhao Yanyan said with shame. So what's wrong if I want to look at my girlfriend? Ye Chen teased Zhao Yanyan. It's not wrong, but look at the situation and place first, said Zhao Yanyan. Okay then. Ye Chen looked to the front of the class. At the moment teacher Lin was writing on the board very seriously. Ye Chen focused on teacher Lin Ruxi's developed body. Ye Chen looked at Lin Ruxi's two buttocks and found something interesting. Her female instincts are very strong. Lin Ruxi felt her butt was stared at by someone. Lin Ruxi turned around and saw the person who was staring at her was Ye Chen. Ye Chen came forward and finished this question. Lin Ruxi was angry and wanted to avenge Ye Chen. Lin Ruxi told Ye Chen to do this difficult problem. When Yachen could not answer correctly, Lin Ruxi had a reason to scold him. Yachen knew that this beautiful lady teacher was angry because Yachen stared at a steady ass. Because being told Yachen to come to the front of the class, he immediately arrived in front of the blackboard. For Yachen, who now questions, these questions were very easy for him to answer. Yachen wrote all the answers to the question quickly and correctly. The face of Master Lin Ruxi was unsightly. Lin Ruxi did not expect that Yachen could answer all questions quickly and correctly. Lin Ruxi did not have another chance to scold Yachen. "Teacher, may I go back to my seat now?" asked Yachen. "Come back." Lin Ruxi was helpless and could only release Yachen this time. Lin Ruxi continued to study as before. School bell sounded. Teacher Lin Ruxi ended the class session. All the students were tidying up their books and stationery, preparing to go home. Yachen and Zhao Yinyan were the same as the others, preparing to go home. "Are you having an event after this?" Yachen asked. "Today I have a musical instrument class. I will go there to learn musical instruments," said Zhao Yinyan. "Yachen, Yinyan, turns out you like the instrument. I used to not like it, but after hearing the female star Feng Shui play some musical instruments with a very beautiful, I became interested and finally became like," said Yinyan while worshipping female star Feng Shui. "Female star Feng Shui, who is that?" Yachen asked. Zhao Yinyan looked with a look of disbelief. "In this country, who does not know Feng Shui? A beautiful female star whose voice is very beautiful and smart in playing various musical instruments. Feng Shui is often appearing in many magazines, newspapers, and television." Yachen just said he didn't know who Feng Shui was. This was really impossible for Zhao Yinyan. Yachen was indeed not very interested in the world of entertainment, even watching television. Yachen was rarely. Yachen would rather play a cell phone game than watch television. Besides, Yachen also knew that the entertainment world was a very dangerous place, considering that many Aoturans could not be spoken. "You don't know Feng Shui, who is the most popular star right now? Have you never watched it on your home television? Feng Shui is almost on every television channel in the country, you know," Zhao Yinyan said. "Never," Yachen answered honestly. "See, Yachen really honest." Zhao Yinyan just shook her head. "Forget it. Sunday with Feng Shui will be a guest at my course, so next week make sure you take the time to accompany me to go there." "Yachen, we haven't exchanged cell phone contacts. It will be easy to get in touch if we are homesick," said Zhao Yinyan, holding his cell phone. "Oh, it's Yinyan. I don't have a cell phone now. My old cell phone is gone, so maybe I'll buy a new one later." "I see, then I'll go first." Yachen. Zhao Yinyan immediately left the classroom. In class, only Yachen and Lin Ruxi's teacher, Yachen, were ready to leave the classroom. Yachen's disciples wait. Lin Ruxi stopped Yachen. "What's wrong, Teacher Lin?" "Yachen, please bring this book to my room." Lin Ruxi told Yachen to bring some heavy books on the table. "Teacher, can I not do it? I have business right now," Yachen said. "You dare to reject me?" Lin Ruxi put on a fierce face on Yachen. Seeing that this female teacher would get angry again, Yachen had no other choice. "Well then, it's good, let's bring all these books right away." Lin Ruxi was quite happy because she could reply a little to Yachen. Yachen was helpless and followed behind teacher Lin Ruxi. After a few minutes of walking, finally Yachen arrived at Lin Ruxi's room. Because this school was quite large, every teacher in the school had their own private room. Lin Ruxi took the key and opened the door. When he entered, Yachen smelled the fragrance. This did not come from the fragrance. It must have come from Lin Ruxi's own body. Lin Ruxi put the books on the table near the computer, while Yachen then put a thick stack of books on the table. "Yachen, teacher, if there is nothing else, then I will go first." "Wait, Yachen, I have something to say to you," said Lin Ruxi. "What is that?" asked Yachen. Chapter 25, Lin Ruxi's Disease. Journey to Become a True God. "Yachen, this is about your behavior in the classroom," said Lin Ruxi, advising Yachen. "What did I do in the class?" Yachen asked, increasingly confused with Lin Ruxi. "Indeed, you think I did not know that you had secretly looked at my butt?" When he said that, the face of Lin Ruxi was rather red. Lin Ruxi did not think she would say such vulgar words. Teacher, you misunderstood me. I just saw your thigh, Ye Chen said. So you want to not be able to lie to me this time. The tone of teacher Lin Ruxi was somewhat angry. Lin Ruxi sighed. Ye Chen, teacher knows that you are growing up, but that does not mean you can make your teacher your object of fantasy. Ye Chen really has a headache now. Ye Chen did not think that this female teacher would misunderstand him. Teacher, I will be honest with you now, Ye Chen said seriously. Lin Ruxi saw the seriousness on Ye Chen's face. Lin Ruxi's mind began to walk wildly. What does this kid want to express his feelings to me? Isn't he too brave? Lin Ruxi was very nervous. Ye Chen, what at night the teacher often feels both thighs pain that makes you difficult to walk. Our Ye Chen is a teacher and student, so such a relationship is unacceptable. Lin Ruxi spoke in defiance of the subject. Lin Ruxi was surprised after hearing what Ye Chen said. It was beyond her expectation. Lin Ruxi involuntarily said that. Teacher Lin, what did you just say? Forget what I said just now. Lin Ruxi was truly shy. She really let her mind go wild. This is the fault of this bad boy, which makes me think like that. Lin Ruxi began to blame Ye Chen in her heart. What did you say, Ye Chen, just now? Lin Ruxi asked back. I say what at night teacher often feels both thighs aching, which makes it difficult for you to walk. Ye Chen repeated the words. How do you know? It is true that in a few weeks Lin Ruxi felt a little pain in her thighs. When she checked into the hospital, the results were nothing strange to her body. The hospital only gave her painkillers. It turned out to be true. When I saw the teacher in the class I knew earlier, Ye Chen said. So Lin Ruxi has been misunderstanding Ye Chen. Ye Chen apparently saw her illness. Ye Chen, then can you heal teacher? Lin Ruxi little hoped that Ye Chen could cure her illness. Initially the pain was not too felt, but the longer the pain was the more painful, until Lin Ruxi could not walk when even days. It was very disturbing for Lin Ruxi. I do have a way to cure it, but I have a condition. Ye Chen tried to negotiate with teacher Lin Ruxi. What conditions? Asked Lin Ruxi. Ye Chen looked at Lin Ruxi from top to bottom. The beauty of teacher Lin Ruxi was not inferior to Zhao Yinyan, especially at the second part of the protruding mountain peak. Seeing the direction of Ye Chen's eyes, Lin Ruxi was angry and rebuked Ye Chen. Ye Chen, where your eyes are looking. Ye Chen immediately withdrew his gaze from Master Lin's two mountain peaks. Teacher, requirements are very simple. Just say it quickly. You don't need too much basement anymore. Lin Ruxi was already impatient. If Ye Chen dared to ask strange things, Lin Ruxi would immediately slap Ye Chen on the spot. Ye Chen, as long as you promise to treat food for 2 weeks, then I will treat you. Free meals for 1 week can reduce Ye Chen's expenses. That's all. Lin Ruxi thought that Ye Chen would ask for something strange, but it turns out Ye Chen only asked for free food for 2 weeks. What do you think I would ask for? Ye Chen said, looking at Lin Ruxi with a smile. Listen, this Lin Ruxi was very ashamed. She was speechless. How do you agree? Ye Chen asked. Today Lin Ruxi was very chaotic by Ye Chen. Well, I agree. Then when do we start treatment? Ye Chen, how about tonight? I still have business now. Lin Ruxi, all right. Where is the place to care? Lin Ruxi asked where Ye Chen would give treatment. It's up to the teacher. Just want to do treatment where? Answered Ye Chen. How about just at my place? Lin Ruxi handed the address of the place of residence to Ye Chen. Ye Chen did not say this address. He immediately put the paper in his pants pocket. Teacher Lin, I'll go first. Ye Chen left Lin Lingxi's room. Seeing Ye Chen's figure disappear, Lin Ruxi was relieved. Today was the first time Lin Ruxi could be chaotic to this extent. For some reason Lin Ruxi believed that Ye Chen could cure her illness. Lin Ruxi didn't know where this trust came from. When Ye Chen left teacher Lin's room, the school was quiet. Only a few students still lived in the school area. Ye Chen intended to buy a cell phone to make it easier to connect with each other with Zhao Yinyan. Roads in the city during the afternoon really crowded. Ye Chen walked to the mall that is near here. The distance between the school and the mall is not far, only a few km. After 20 minutes Ye Chen finally arrived at the mall. Ye Chen immediately went to the cell phone sales department. In the past Yechen could only look around and could not buy this good mobile phone, but now it was different. Yechen had money and could buy it. He approached one of the cell phone shops. A seller who saw Yechen coming in immediately offered a product that was sold. Without thinking, Yechen immediately bought an iPhone mobile phone, which is the most expensive phone at the moment. After completing the payment, Yechen left the mall. He was quite happy to finally be able to buy the cell phone he had always dreamed of. After buying Yechen's cell phone to go to his favorite place to eat. This is a goat sauté stall on the side of the road where Yechen's favorite food is. When he is holding a lot of money, this little stall is not only affordable, but it feels from the goat sauté here. Very tasty and delicious. Aunt Seder goat's 30 skewers. Yechen immediately ordered 30 skewers of goat. Aunt, who was roasting goats, looked up Yechen for a long time. You did not come to this place. I thought you did not live in this city, said the ant seller. In the past few months I have returned to my hometown, said Yechen. The ant seller here was very familiar with Yechen for being a regular customer. Auntie shop owner: oh, so that's it. Sit down first, I'll make your order immediately. The name of the aunt of the stall owner is Chen Qi. Chen Qi is always kind to him and often gives extra portions to Yechen at the same price.